Wow, I actually got a notification that we're live. Whoa. That's my watch was going there and it says watch live now, Mac Yak. It's a YouTube alert actually. Wow, it actually works.
Hey, I
And
was watching
welcome
this video
everybody to
before.
a new edition of Mac Yak. We may have to actually stop the stream for a second here and let me transition over to software encoding because the bit rate, I actually know the bit rate's coming back up.
Hi, Ken.
So, but we're not at the bit rate I want to be at. But
not so fancy now with that new GPU, are you?
Who did this art?
Wendy made it.
Or,
Yeah.
Jay's wife did.
Yeah.
yeah,
I dig it.
I like it. I like it. It's very festive here. But anyways, welcome number 50. What are we on? 52.
Yep.
So that's actually a whole year's worth now. 52 weeks.
Yeah, true.
I think you cut off the edge of Mac Yak with me, though.
I didn't
Yeah,
do
but
that.
it's in the bottom too. So
Yeah.
screw it.
Yeah, true.
So, but I can't change that anyways because that's the way they're hard coded into the background. So,
Yeah.
but Jay, thank you for making it transparent. Now, it actually makes it a whole lot easier for me to center the videos now on all of us, so I don't have to try to fit it into a box anymore.
Yeah, so you don't have to do any actual work.
Exactly.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Exactly. You know, what is it? What's that old saying? Work smarter, not harder.
Uh-huh. I live by that every day. I'm working up to the point where I have to say, yeah, I don't have to work at all. I'm not there yet.
So, yeah. So anyways, guys, if you notice, we actually have Bruce back again. So he may become the next Steve, where he may just decide to join us for every episode and become a permanent member. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
But I am not replacing Steve.
No, it's not replacing.
Yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm here and he's not
sort of
is
look like him with
unrelated.
the lack of hair.
Yeah. But if you guys notice, we are missing two other guys. Rocky is out tonight. He is got lots of work, I guess he needed to catch up on. And
Yeah, he's working late.
yeah, and Steve has a office Christmas party, so he chose his office Christmas party over us. So you
Yeah.
guys, we're going to shame him tonight for that. So
Well, if we're lucky, he might show up completely trashed.
Yeah.
Fun.
I don't think he's missed one yet.
even
Even the ones when he was in Japan, he was in for at least a few minutes.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
it kind of makes you look bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And I've only missed a couple because guess who broadcasts all these? Me.
Yeah. Dude, the delay is like, what, 5 seconds?
Shouldn't be.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's damn near instant.
That's
Pretty
why
cool.
I have it set for basically lowest latency possible. So that helps out with the actual chat. So when we see something in chat, we can pretty much respond to it almost instantly. It's not like
Yeah,
we're waiting.
I like that.
Not what like
I
we're
was,
waiting 30
I
seconds.
was doing a test live stream 2 days ago, testing it, and I think there was like a full minute delay. It was horrible.
Yeah. Uh-oh, we lost Mike.
I'm here.
Oh, he just.
Sorry, I'm probably going to be in and out a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think it's exactly appropriate for me to be doing some things I'm doing on camera.
Well, keep your pants on, dude.
Oh, yeah, keep your pants on.
We already
That's
have a
not what I had
naked
in
Santa
mind.
flashing us. We don't need you to do it as well.
Well, in one live stream, didn't he end up in the bathroom during half of it or something like that?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, he was like flushing the toilet or something.
Who was
in
that,
the background.
Rocky or Steve? I can't remember.
No, I was Rocky. It
That was
wasn't me.
Rocky. I
It
think
was-
it,
It
no,
was Mike.
no, I think it was Rocky.
No, if
No,
I
Rocky.
leave my computer, I mute my mic.
Rocky
I'm
is
not
known
that-
for
I'm
going
not
to the
that
bathroom
ignorant.
while we're on a call or while we're live. Steve is known for flashing his underwear.
Yeah.
We all have our things. You know?
Uh,
I'm known for having dinner right as the stream starts.
yes.
And I'm known for occasionally accidentally getting drunk halfway through a live stream.
No, you're just
so-
Uh-huh.
you're occasionally known for having a noisy chair.
What do you mean?
Yes, that.
It's not even squeaking now. There it goes.
Okay.
Like everything in your house needs WD-40 in some kind of way.
Hey, it's leather against wood. I can't do anything about
Sure,
it.
you can pull the chair away from it. You know.
Well, yeah, but then when I sit back in it, it flies backwards.
And
It's a real lazy boy. It just flies backwards.
Uh-huh.
all right, guys.
A lazy boy. A lazy boy.
So,
Exactly.
what have you guys been up to all this week? Right, especially the week before Christmas, as a matter of fact. So
Yeah,
we
I
got,
can't believe it's already been a week.
yeah, we
It
got.
was like we streamed 2 days ago.
I
Yeah,
know.
it feels like it.
It went by quick, actually.
Then again, half of us did at least one live stream this week. So
Yeah, I actually did one.
Yeah?
I got a guy I met at work. He actually was going to recycle some Commodore equipment, just basically give it to Best Buy to crunch up. And I kind of talked him out of it in a way. And so I got it. So I've got a Commodore 64 sitting here with a disk drive that doesn't work, but still, the Commodore 64 actually does work. And I did a live stream shortly before Grooty's premiere. It wasn't really a live stream, so
Dude, I had about 4 notifications that day. Greg went live. I go there. You weren't live. And that happened 4 times, so I missed each and every one of them. And Grooty said I was at his premiere, but I don't remember it.
yeah, you were there the entire time, I think.
Hmm.
Or no, you were there for the live stream. You
yeah.
were at the end, midway through the premiere.
I got a
Y'all stream too
prototype.
much. I lose track.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Jay uses his Twitch Prime on my Twitch stream, but he never watches anymore. So
Once in a while.
Oh,
The
by the
thing
way,
is, when you were on the West Coast, you streamed at times that were impossible. I was having dinner or giving my kid a bath.
dude,
or
you're
something.
always eating.
Impossible. But now that you're on the East Coast, I figured, oh, maybe he's reasonable now. He's going to stream at 8 or 9 p.m. No, you start streaming at freaking 6 o'clock when everybody's eating. Like,
yeah.
Why? I've already eaten.
What?
By the way, since real quick, since we're warming up right now, I'd like to do a quick shout out to one of my high school best friends, Alex. I did this in my live stream on, when was it, Sunday night. Alex and I went to high school together. We were best friends in high school, and we're still best friends today. And he had his first daughter today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
she was born at, when was it?
210.
Close, sort of. 212.
Ah.
You were pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And she was 8 pounds 6 ounces, and her name is Heidi Mae Miller. So congratulations to
Awesome.
both Alex and oh, that's not good.
Awkward.
I'm blanking on her name.
Your
Sorry.
best friend from high school, and you can't remember his wife's name. Oh, see, that shows you how good friends Grooty is to actually anybody.
Right?
Oh, I'm just not thinking very clearly right now.
Have you been drinking already?
Maybe.
It's only 8 o'clock. What the hell?
But anyway,
Well, if they're
congratulations.
watching, congratulations.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Congrats. So I know Steve had a new video out, and he actually got monetized now. So if you guys go check out Steve's channel, he actually now can actually get super chats, and he actually gets ad revenue now. So go out there and watch some of his videos. He actually does create some pretty darn good quality content. So
Yep.
Oh yeah,
And,
Allison. Yeah,
he remembers it now.
I've had a few. Sorry. So congratulations to Alex and Allison. Heidi is a very beautiful little girl.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me neither. So, anyways, guys. So, anything else been going on?
Nah, dude, just work. I picked up a few things from the recycle bin. Gotta pack up a few boxes. One for Steve, one for Grooty over there this weekend. I'm running a poll on Discord whether I should live stream or record a recapping of an Xserve power supply. I got 2 in the mail right now. One for Nick that won the repair giveaway last week, and one from Steve.
Why not just do both?
Dude, it's going to be a 6-hour stream.
So,
Because right now, the stream vote is winning by a long shot. So I guess I'm going to have to stream it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
and then you can do a short recorded version of it with edits in it, so it's not 6 hours long.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't edit anything.
You know what's
It's true.
you know what's
You'll be
funny?
lucky
Spent
if I speed
45
something
minutes
up.
cleaning a damn buck mouth for crying out loud. You think he's
Yeah.
going to edit anything else out of a 6-hour video recapping the next Surf power supply?
No.
Nope.
In fact, the my best video so far on my channel has been my Pixelus mod, which was a live stream. You know, that one actually is my best viewed video, or my most viewed video, and it was about a little over an hour and a half long, but that one, no edits. I never did go back and edit it out or anything, and it's still getting views.
I know
Well,
it's going to take forever because the test stream I was doing a few days ago, I did two things. I showed Steve the LC2 that I got for him. I went over the little booklets, and I showed off a few spare parts that I got. That's it. 5 minutes. Bam, done. I look at the damn OBS counter, and I spend 45 minutes. So if that takes that long, recapping a power supply it's going to take forever. We're going to be there for hours. So, I don't know. We'll see.
All right,
ahead,
guys. So
Grooty.
are we ready to go start in our topics here?
I don't know. I think Grooty had something to say.
Did I?
No.
He forgot already. He's drunk.
Yeah.
Never mind. And we know Bruce has been working on some really fun repairs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think I've mentioned I've sort of someone's given me a box full of PowerBook 3400s, and every single one has a fault, and he's asked me to try and make as many working ones as I can out of all of those. So that's one that I've spent a few hours on, but I haven't got back to it because I know it's going to take me a long time.
Yeah, because you got to
And how many are
you got to
working right
find the
now?
worst one and use that as your parts.
There's a donable. Well, one of them has actually there's a PC slot, PCM CIA slot on it, and someone at some stage has tried to rip that off the board, and so that is just a mangled mess. Ironically, that's the one that works best out of all of them. So,
Of course.
yeah, so I that one
Naturally, yeah.
that's the one you would sort of think would be the best, sort of possible donor board. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be lifting that PC card sort of slot off one of the other ones, which would be a nightmare because it's got like about 150 through holes or something like that. So yeah,
Ooh,
that's
going to be a lot of wick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have the patience for that, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the main one. I mean, every now and again, just the easy ones come through, and you just you recap or you do a repair, and out it goes, yay! And then you just get one like that. You just it's going to be days. But anyhow.
Fine.
All right, guys. So speaking of that, that's actually going to lead us to our first topic tonight, actually. So parts. Where do you get yours? Do you always go third party or only OEM? How about new versus used?
VS, really?
Yeah, sorry. If you put that in small, I would have been, yeah, but anyways. And what are some of our favorite vendors / brands? We already know what Jay's most offensive brand is, and that's what?
Don't even say it. Nope.
O
Don't say it.
W
W
C.
C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw you, Nick.
So
Yeah, I can say that almost instantly now. Nice.
Ken says I need to learn recapping. Well, Ken, there's a lot of people in this chat right now that could help you, including Bruce.
Well, minus Grooty because he can't solder worth the crap. So
Exactly. I'm for
Yeah.
that.
We've seen his Pixels mod. I mean, that about sums it up.
well, that isn't a Grooty video unless it has blood in it. But
That's true.
But parts,
That's true.
guys, where do we get our parts from? I mean, so for me, I actually do get a lot of used parts. I take stuff that doesn't work anymore, and I'll desolder a lot, like caps, stuff that still look good, or resistors or whatnot, and I'll reuse that stuff. But I mean, I'm talking about big resistors, not the little small surface mount ones. Surface mount ones, I'll probably chuck those because those are probably not worth anything, and they're probably easy to get new than used. If I'm correct there, Jay, right?
I wasn't listening. Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Those little surface mount ones, I mean, generally there's usually not any issue getting them, but you're likely to have to buy like 100.
Yeah.
So I mean, I actually keep like if I've got any boards that have surface mount caps on them, surface mount resistors and stuff on them, I put them to one side, because there are times when you're working on something and you need that one little tiny resistor, and you don't want to have to go and buy 100 of them, and you can just steal them off.
Yeah, if you have a donor board, then you could get the exact one that you need. I know Jay has a bunch of donor boards that he has that he does that with.
I did that once. I had a Firewire 800 MDD that had a blown cap under the CPU card, and I just cleaned up the traces and pulled one off of a broken Firewire 400 and soldered it clean on. And
yep, there's his.
Yeah, Jay, showing off.
That's just what I got out of the recycle bin today.
I've probably got a few here too.
But what about other parts? Like, I know caps are easy to get, but I think you use Mauser, right, Jay?
Yes. Capacitors, I use Mauser. And I'm going to use that website that Bruce mentioned last week that I bookmarked, but I already forgot the name of.
RS Components.
That one. Connectors, I get off of eBay. Usually a company called BeatsTech. They sell on eBay. They have big parts, like if you need screen or battery or a top case or something.
That's
but
where
also,
I usually go.
They also sell a lot of board level repair components. So if I can take it off a donor board, I usually get it from them on eBay.
Aren't most of those parts used parts? Because Apple doesn't sell them to.
Yeah, but they're high quality, barely used parts.
Well, that's
usually
for the screens and stuff.
Yeah.
The connectors and stuff is all new.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how are they able to get that? Because I know Apple usually puts a stranglehold on suppliers for that stuff.
Well, Apple, I mean, I know everybody thinks that because Louis Rossman loves to complain, but there's only really one or two chips that you absolutely cannot get. Everything else you can find.
Yeah, well, that's what, the T2 chip and...
I think, what was it? Some kind of charging controller, I think, is one
What
of them.
about the SMC? Isn't that Apple proprietary, or is that...
Those are harder to find. You usually have to grab them from a donor board. But I think there's ways you can buy them blank and program them yourself. I've never done that,
You can
though.
with an SMC. I think the SMC, I think you can with a like a BIOS. You can sort of program those, but the SMC, I believe, is designed to erase itself if you try and read its contents.
You can still flash it. Colin's done it a few times. In fact, he's done it on his channel.
Excellent.
You can even rewrite SMCs and NVRAMs and all that stuff with the proper tools.
Excellent.
No, I usually have enough donors to grab them off of there.
Yeah.
So, lucky.
But if you have to grab it off the specific board, correct? Because
yes, it has to be an identical match.
Yeah, because if you get one from another one, it's not going to work. Because even though they might be the same chip, they're programmed slightly differently, correct?
I've never tried, to be honest. It's a lot of work to reball one of those damn things, so I'm not going to experiment with it.
I have actually, I had two boards that were essentially the same board, but off two different year models. I think it was MacBook Air. And I put an SMC chip, swapped it over, and it sort of worked, but sort of didn't. So that was a good learning experience from that. So yeah, I'd say even though it kind of went on, and even though the computer booted and everything, it didn't work properly. So yeah.
And for the only thing I really try to go after that's new, third party but new, is batteries.
Same here.
That's about it. Everything else, I don't mind getting it used or third party. Well, pretty much everything is third party. Apple. I never buy anything from Apple. But yeah, Used, I don't care unless it's a battery.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, because you want batteries to be brand new. Because used batteries, you run into the thing where the cycles on it, and then they're always going to be wore down a little bit, and you want the freshest or the newest battery possible. So yeah, I do the same thing for my two MacBooks that I got. The one I got from UJ from Recycle, and
Yeah.
the one I got from Rocky. I bought brand new batteries for those, and they worked like they were fresh out of the factory now.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's very little. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to buy new when it comes to parts, but nothing comes to mind really.
And with the batteries, are you buying branded ones? Or
Whatever gets the best reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too expensive.
I usually, even though it's usually more expensive, I usually go with newer tech because their batteries, and yes, it's OWCJ. But I usually go with newer tech because their batteries usually have a higher MAH on them, and they tend to be built better than factory batteries, and they have a year warranty. So if they fail in the first year, they're covered. And so I usually go with newer tech, but I occasionally go with the higher rated, the highest rated, but it's usually newer tech.
Oh, one more thing I always buy new: hard drives. Hard drives and solid state drives.
Yeah.
I always buy new.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing too because, again, now I did buy some used solid state drives for my G5, okay, but because it's a G5, I didn't really want to spend a lot of money on the thing, so
Yeah.
I bought a used SSD and it actually sped it up and everything, but in this CMP now I bought brand new SSDs, so. The two SSDs that I have in here, the Boot Camp SSD and the Mac OS SSD, are brand new. So those I got new. But for something that you're going to play around with, like what stuff Grooty does for his channel, probably used stuff is probably, when you're just making a video and then putting away the computer and never touching it really again.
Oh, I'd still use them, but yeah, used. I don't have a problem buying used as long as I can at least sort of tell that they're semi in good shape. But when it comes to a daily user thing, like a MacBook or something that I'm actually planning on using daily, I do tend to go with new or really cheap new, like my last 3 MacBook Pro builds, I put in some cheap Chinese SSD. It works, and it's brand new, but it's also cheap and kind of slow, but it worked. So,
We got a few comments from the chat. Matt's Tech says I buy new. Best Buy usually. Nick says friends, eBay, and third-party sellers.
that's why I
Licky
usually do.
says I never buy new. What else we got?
Just
Tom Peak says
remember,
he's cheap, so he buys used.
with Best Buy, they always have all their prices marked up a pretty good premium, so you're not getting a very good deal usually.
I do.
Never.
Well, unless you work for Best Buy.
Yeah. I get a very good deal on some stuff, except for Apple stuff. Apple stuff, we don't get any discount.
Yeah,
Because
Apple's.
well, that's because they don't make any real money off of it either. Because
There's no margin there.
yeah, so Apple, you got to
Let's
pay
see.
the Apple tax,
CompGeek says new hard drive SSD for new computers, used for old stuff. Alex says new for SSDs. I think most people would get their hard drives and solid states new. Dana says used hard drives or solid state drives for non-daily driver Macs that he doesn't use often.
Yep.
Yeah. And I use if I'm going to put one in my G3 or G4, which, by the way, a G4 with a 1 terabyte Crucial in it flies. It's awesome.
Yes, it does.
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
But,
Seeing yours boot up just amazed me, Jay.
Yep. I tell you one thing though, a lot of people sit there and complain about the speed of an SSD in a Mac Pro, the older Mac Pros. To be honest with you, mine takes about like 15 to 20 seconds to boot up from the bong. So, I mean, it takes longer for me to get to the bong than it does for it to actually boot up afterwards.
Same with mine. Exactly same with mine. Yep.
It takes longer for me to get to the bong.
Well, it's better than saying it bonged. It bonged. It bonged. And if you guys don't know where
I was gonna say mine takes 22 seconds to boot up from the bong or the
Mine
chime,
takes.
as they call
and if you
it.
guys in the chat
Mine
don't,
And mine's
and
probably
if you guys in the chat,
lowest end Mac Pro out of
if
all.
you guys in the chat don't know what we're talking about, go to our Discord channel. There's a video that I posted in there, and I think Jay also did one too, and you'll understand why we said that about Grooty.
Yeah. Mine takes about a minute and a half to boot because I'm on SSHDs. I'm too lazy to put in an SSD, although I have a few. I just never put
Dude,
them in.
my boot drive is an SSD, but everything else in my CMP is spinners. I mean, I've got a RAID 0 in there for 2 of the drives, and then the other drive is just a regular 1.5 terabyte, spinner. So, but like Jay said, it's best to buy hard drives new because you never know how many hours have been on that drive. You don't know if it's been shocked, dropped or whatnot. So it could have, damaged heads or whatnot, and it may not last you, but a month or two, you'd be SOL.
Yeah.
Especially if you're relying.
Yeah, hard drives definitely.
Yeah, especially if you're relying on serious data protection, or if you want to, if you're using it for a lot of stuff that you want to keep data intact. Now my RAID has used hard drives in it because trying to find that many IDE drives in it is going to be a pain. But I want to convert them to SATA one of these days. But that's gonna be expensive.
Yeah, start saving up. I think last I checked, it's $22 for an adapter from IDE to SATA.
Just to do one side.
And the hard drives are currently.
Just to do one side, that's 7. So that's 7 times 22. That's over what, $225 roughly, somewhere around there.
Where are you guys getting your adapters? I get mine for like $10 a pop.
Yeah, I don't get that cheap garbage that doesn't fit. I get the good ones.
It's the same adapter.
No, it is not.
It's the adapter I used to use for my optical drives, my Mac Pros.
It's not the same.
Caused the seeking issue.
Mm-hmm. There you go. $10 worth. And the hard drives are currently hovering around bucks. So, yeah, to do 14 of those, that's pricey. Well, good luck. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if your wife murders you.
Why would she murder me?
Well, let's see.
If I buy all that stuff. Yes, you're right.
That's $840 for the drives. And let's say 20, not 20. That's $280 for the adapter.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
So
that's not happening.
Well, I still want to put 1 terabyte SSDs in my Xserve RAID.
Go ahead, dude.
I'm not going to do that because, to be honest with you, it's
just think of the price that thing's going to.
But here's the thing.
Even you.
But here's the thing, though, Grooty. What are you going to do with it afterwards? Nobody still wants to buy it because the throughput is still slow as crap. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I think I'm all for putting an SSD in a G3 or a G4 with a SATA PCI card and all that. But I think the one machine where an SSD is going to be absolutely useless is an Xserve RAID. You're not going to get a single megabyte per second more than with a hard drive.
But it's going to be fun.
Yeah, not for your bank account.
Yeah, that's the problem. But I still want to do it. I actually plan on using it as like a time machine backup for the studio because I just can't get my two networks to play nicely.
But you can't
anymore.
get any of
I
your
wonder
networks to
why.
play nice. Come on.
That's true. That's true.
Soldering and networking are you should just outsource that periodly.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to read some of the chats here.
Yeah, I'm way
Yeah.
behind on the chat. I feel bad.
Justin says I has a free NAS-based NAS and bought used enterprise hard drives for it and haven't had any issues with them. I also have the volume configured such that I could lose 2 drives. So
Oh, what? That's RAID 5?
probably RAID 5. Yeah, it has to be RAID 5 because RAID 0 is not. If you lose a drive, then you're probably going to lose some data.
Screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RAID 5 is the one you want to use if you want to have data saved because of the way it does the striping and stuff.
Yeah. Well, did you say RAID 1 or 0?
No, he said RAID 0, I think, does. It's the fastest, but it's
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you lose one drive, you're out
Yeah.
of commission.
In fact, my RAID 0, I have RAID 0 on the 2 1 terabyte drives I have in my CMP right now. So if I lose one, they're both gone. But
Yep.
I have them backed up anyway, so not a big deal. Plus, that's all I have on those 2 drives, that 2 terabytes, is my Plex movie server. So
Well, Plex is important.
it is. That's why I have it backed up.
Yeah. Good. And what about you, Bruce, in Australia? Is anything different from what we said, or same applies to most of it?
You're talking about it in terms of spare
Yeah.
parts and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy sort of most of my stuff on eBay, and most of it's coming from China. Most of those places are, do free delivery, so you get that. Now, with that, you of course need to be very selective about what you buy, because some of the stuff is going to be absolute rubbish. I mean, I got a computer that I had to repair once that had a battery replaced in it, and it was a MacBook Pro, and took the battery out, and I mean it weighed half as much as a genuine battery. Now you can't obviously look at that battery, regardless of what it says in terms of milliwatt hours or whatever on that, that it's rubbish. I mean, it's just absolute garbage. So yeah, I mean obviously with batteries, I always like to go with someone with a brand name, someone who's prepared to put a brand name on it. It doesn't, to some extent, if I'm really trying to save money, I don't really mind what the brand name is, but if they're happy to put their name on it, then they're more likely to stand by their product, if they've got a website or something, or someone that you can actually contact and complain to. But when you're just getting sort of no name on them. But yeah, so I mean, same, in terms of, all components, I mean, yeah, as I said, I use that place called RS Components, but, all other parts, like if I'm getting replacement keyboards or trackpads or something like that, I would generally look to eBay for that. There are a few local places selling parts here, but yeah, a lot of that stuff ends up just coming from China. And look, to be honest, I mean, most of that stuff I would get here probably within a week. I would say 1 to 2 weeks stuff coming from China. So
yeah,
not too bad.
All right. What about you, Mike?
I don't do any repairs like that, so I don't really buy anything like you guys do. I just use whatever's available.
Or you buy it from us, right?
Yeah.
True. I mean, obviously I buy my SSDs and stuff online. I buy them new. I would never buy a used SSD, and I would never use a really, really well-used hard drive in anything I use on a daily basis, at least not now, since I lost half my stuff when my Seagate drive failed. But, I now just learned to make sure I back everything up on a regular basis, too. So...
Lesson learned.
Yep. And I think
I don't buy the little stuff like you guys do. So,
And I think there's a Mac Yak episode somewhere where you can go see about how doing backups properly. I think Jay discussed that in depth.
Only about an hour.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any more on this topic before we move on?
Just very quickly,
Okay.
Are there just when it comes to things like SSDs and hard drives, are there any brands that you guys stay away from, prefer over another?
OWC for Jay.
Anything marked with OWC label is, of course, strictly off limits. I always go by the quarterly drive statistics from Backblaze. They publish drive statistics 4 times a year, and whatever the best performing drive brands and models are for them, and they abuse the hell out of their drives. That's the drive I buy.
Yeah, the only ones I tend to avoid is really, I think the only ones is WD Blue. I've had a lot of failures on WD Blues.
Yeah, and I stay away from Western Digital Black. They're absolute nightmares.
Okay, Comp Geek says avoid Quantum and Toshiba. And then Tina wants to know what is wrong with OWC stuff. So, Jay, I'll let you have this one.
Fire away.
Unfortunately, we do not have the time tonight or the next year to get into that. But
Well, I can briefly say and do it for them. OWC is overpriced, and they actually have a lot of their stuff outsourced to really cheap companies. I just found that out recently, actually. They outsource to the cheapest company they can find, and then slap Mac quality stickers on it and sell it.
And then
everything with any kind of electronics in it, and an OWC sticker on it, will fail.
But
Sooner
newer
rather than
tech,
later.
even though it's owned by OWC, newer tech is actually a good brand because they make a lot of their stuff in house and stuff, and it's good quality stuff.
It's better, but it still
It's better.
fails at a spectacular rate.
Nah.
as
only
Jay
thing
says,
I
it
have
says OWC.
From OWC,
As long as it says OWC, then it's crap.
one exception. I have one OWC product for the last, 5 years that is still working today, and that's a hard drive sled or an SSD sled for my Mac Pro.
Well, that's because it's a sled. It's not electronic.
Exactly.
Well,
There's no electronics. So
I have an OWC Mercury G4. It still works.
Well, it could
But-
fail, Jay. It could the metal could fatigue and
It can break in half. Yeah, who knows? But, yeah. No, and this is drawing from personal experience and the hundreds of clients that I installed, RAM, hard drive, solid state, Excelsior PCI cards, external docks and hubs.
Mm-hmm.
It all failed. All of it. There is not a single OWC product in the world right now that I installed or recommended or that still works. Not a single one, except my SSD sled.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here. Man, we beat that one to the ground. That's for sure.
It's Bruce, man. He just keeps talking.
I know, man. No,
Sorry.
that's Mike. Mike keeps talking. So,
Oh yeah, Mike.
anyways, next topic tonight. We talked a little bit about this last week. The 2019 Mac Pro.
Yeah, but last week we didn't have a lot to go on.
Exactly.
So,
There's been some other YouTubers out there that actually have bought some, that actually have done teardowns, not like these first couple that we saw where, oh, it's so great, it's beautiful, it's look
at the
doggy,
box.
look, it's a deeper black than the other,
Look, doggy.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've had some other ones. iFixit has done a teardown of it already. And it kind of disappointed me because one of their steps, they actually tried to grate cheese on the damn
That's the
front.
whole reason I refuse to watch
Yeah.
the teardown.
That's
Yeah.
I almost stopped from there, but I wanted to see the CPU stuff on there. The problem with iFixit is they left out a very important part that Snazzy Labs actually did show. And he actually did a very good teardown live. Well, not live, but he did it in his video. But I watched his whole video, and that one actually
Yeah.
was a pretty darn good video.
Yeah, it was a good video.
Yeah.
It hit on all the important parts.
It hit on everything in the Mac Pro, I think.
Mhm.
And I don't want to, I knew that we were going to get flooded with Mac Pro videos on YouTube as soon as the pre-order started. But I don't want to watch iJustine videos with, it's so pretty. I don't care how pretty it is. Give me benchmarks. Give me internals, I don't care. Then there's a few other YouTubers that are like, oh my God, it edits footage so fast. I don't care. Show me the inside. They never do. And then there was iFixit, and their thumbnail was grating cheese on the Mac Pro. And I don't care if Jessica Alba in a thong is presenting it. I'm not clicking that. So I skipped that one. And then finally,
You missed out because it was Jessica Alba.
damn it, I'm gonna. And then Snazzy Labs, last night I saw his video. It was actually a good video. I mean, there's a lot more I want to know, of course, but he's gonna do follow-ups.
Yeah.
And so far, it's looking good.
Yeah.
But we have a few people on the Macro Upgrade group. They're like, "Oh, I got mine today," and they showed a box, and
Yeah.
I'm posting the same on every single thread. It's like, show me the Geekbench 4
now,
scores. Show me the Geekbench 4 scores.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into those in a second here, but one of the things that I found the difference between the iFixit teardown and Snazzy Labs was that iFixit left out that the CPU actually had a clip on it. Okay, they left that completely out of it. They just had the CPU pulled out. They didn't show the step of them showing where the clip is and everything. Snazzy Labs actually showed that it had a clip, because I thought that the CPU heatsink was holding down, just like in the 2009 CMPs, where the heatsink is putting pressure and holding it down into its socket. That's the way I thought it was until Snazzy Labs showed it, and there was a clip that you actually have to take off that holds the CPU into its mount. So basically, the cooler or the heatsink is not actually putting all the pressure onto the CPU,
and that CPU is huge.
It is huge. It's probably 3 times as big as our CPUs that we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
I think it fits like in your palm of your hand right here. I mean, the whole thing.
But I know we kind of did this whole topic thing backwards, but one thing that blew my mind, and I rewound it twice in Snazzy Labs video to make sure I heard it right. If you don't order it with the wheels, you cannot put them on yourself later. It has to go back to Apple to have the wheels.
Really? I did not see that part.
That's
of
what
it.
he
Yeah,
said.
I did not. I missed that part.
I saw
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, and he demonstrated that the basically you can do it with just a normal hex key, a hex wrench. All you have to do is just undo 4 screws, the feet come out, and wheels will go in. But Apple obviously aren't happy with people doing that themselves. So
That's because they don't trust us.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
because they're not making money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you consider how incredibly modular that machine is now, and how accessible everything is. Sort of to have that step with the wheels just seems really odd.
Yeah, I hope he's wrong, because that would be ridiculous.
Comp Geek says Harbor Freight casters and some JB Weld won't stop me.
Yeah, right?
I'm telling you, man, that'll work. Now, what did you guys think about the way that the card hold, where the little, like in our CMPs, we have that bar that holds all the PCIe cards in. What do you think about the Apple's little mechanism?
It being backwards?
No, it's not backwards. They have a switch where you can.
Instead of a bar that slides in, they have
But
a
the
hook
switch-
that falls in.
To close it, you have to flip it the other way. Then what you would have to do it with
Okay, but if you can't see the little pictures that say lock and unlock, then I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be in there in the first place.
I mean, come on. It should just you have to. I think you have to lock it to the left, when it should be you have to lock it to the right, because that would be locking
should it
cards
be?
in. Huh?
Why should it be?
Yeah.
Because that's how the cards are put in the machine.
No, because the locks now go up and down, or side to side, not back and forth.
What do you mean they go
There's
side
little
by
hooks.
side?
You have the.
Did you
hook
watch
on the
Snazzy
goddamn
Labs
card or
video?
whatever,
Yeah,
right?
I know. No,
Okay,
I
that's the
didn't.
reason why you
No.
don't know. There's little hooks. There's no more bar anymore. There's little hooks
Right.
on every PCIe card, now when you flip that
Yeah.
switch, the hooks go up or down and unlock or lock all 8.
Oh, they go up and
Yes.
down.
Yeah. Watch the video.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like,
No, not tonight anyway.
it's not that
I will
long.
watch
It's
it, I
actually
think.
not that long. I think it's about 15, 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it's a good recap video.
But that also that they actually in the memory part, they in the covers they could show you how to configure the RAM, depending on what you put in there.
And it looks very full in there.
Yes. Well, he only had 3 or 6 sticks, I think, or something like that, and so his was.
Which is a good thing because by now we know that Apple used the cheapest possible RAM they could
Yes.
find and marked it up like 250%.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like the way that the power supply is cooled.
Yes.
Like it's being sucked in by that blower fan in the back.
Yes, that
It's
was
a really
that
nice
was really
design.
cool because it's got like
It
a
is
rubber
neat.
gasket. So basically, none of the dust is going to come in from the power supply into the computer at all. Now, what about the fans? The fans I thought were pretty interesting because the whole shroud turns, not
Yeah.
just the fan blades, but the whole shroud.
I don't know what the benefit of that is. Probably
I think
more
it's
It's
surface
sound.
area.
It makes it quieter actually
Yeah.
because.
Okay. I just liked how he just took the
Yeah.
whole thing out.
That was,
That was
beautiful.
But
Yeah.
My thing that I didn't expect, and I don't notice seeing it, or I don't remember noticing it before, is that you have 5 external connectors to power graphics card. Apple gives
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
That is
but
nice.
they're
That's a
but
big
they're
step up.
a
Yeah.
connector that, and in fact, he even said you have to buy like an $80 cable just to use them.
But
yeah,
they're
they're
there.
there.
If you spend $50,000 on a Mac Pro, you're not going to give a crap about an $80 cable. So,
Or you could just buy Apple's proprietary. In fact, this is something else that a lot of people don't know either, is that you can't just go out and buy those cards and expect to put them in a old CMP because they will not work because they have that
Well,
extra
the duo
connector.
cards.
Yeah.
yeah.
They have that extra
But-
connector and they're too tall to fit in our CMPs.
But the afterburner card should fit.
No.
No one's tested it yet.
They said it's too tall to
Too
fit.
tall.
Yes. Will not
We'll
fit in.
figure it out.
Yeah, will not
Yeah.
fit.
Speaking of the afterburner card, it's a video someone did or article someone wrote. I don't remember. I was at work, so I glanced at it. He bought a pretty specced out Mac Pro with 2 graphics cards and all that
He
stuff.
took one of the cards
and he
out.
did tests, and then
Yeah.
he took one of the graphics cards out and put an afterburner in, and it made it. He's like, I can basically buy the stock configuration, add an afterburner, and have one hell of a machine. That afterburner card is a lot more powerful than we thought.
Oh yeah. I bet it is.
I'm looking forward to good reviews on
Now-
that. And if it works in the 5.1, I'm going to start saving.
What
up.
about the USB/Thunderbolt port card that's in there? Because that's a standard PCIe card. See, this is the question I have. I hope somebody does a test on this. Will that card work in an old CMP?
I don't
Because-
know. Well,
That's a good
no,
question.
because the Thunderbolt is handled by the
Are
CPU, and our
you
CPUs don't
no,
properly.
are you
support
sure about that? Because it's on a separate card. It's not built in.
I know, but all the PCI lanes are fed through the processor. It's a direct link. So you know how on the 5.1 we now have
Mhm.
kind
The
of
Alpine
unofficial
Ridge
Thunderbolt
cards.
support?
Yeah.
So the protocol is supported for video, I believe, but not for data.
Mm.
So I think we might run into the same problem with that card if it works.
Yeah, I would like to see. Sooner or later, somebody tests that theory if that card can actually work in a CMP, and can you get that? Well, see, that card comes with every Mac Pro now, because you're going to get those ports with it. So every Mac Pro gets that card. So I'm not sure if you could buy that card separately.
And we don't know if it's backward compatible.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd like to see somebody experiment and
Yes.
try that out.
Rudy, get
Yeah.
on it. And I want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let someone else talk. The build quality Like he did a test with a PCI cover, and he used the ones we have in our everyday PCs and Mac Pros, and beep, bent it in half like that. Try bending a PCI cover for the new Mac Pro, and you need some serious tools to make it happen. So even something as simple as a PCI cover, the quality is apparently very good.
Yes, they did a very good job on that build quality. I mean, and the fact that the thing has really no cables at all in the thing. I mean, that right there, because you look at the power supply, like Jay said about the power supply, you pull it out and it's got an edge connector right there for all the power going straight into the motherboard. Then you have all the cards, the video cards, especially it has that extra lane. I forget what they call it now, but all the power is drawn through that, so there's no extra cabling needed for that. So
how much is that power supply?
I think it was he said 1,000 watts, but I thought it was 1,100. Is what
1,400.
1,400. Okay, yeah,
But he
did say 1,000 in
yeah, I heard
video.
14.
Yeah,
I heard 1,400 as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's
which
1,400.
is limited. I mean, we have an almost 1 kilowatt power supply in our classic Mac Pros, and we're starting to get to the limits of what it can power. Like if you put 2 Titans in there or something, I'm pretty sure you're close to the limit.
Mhm.
Now, it took 10 years to get there.
Yeah.
Well, what about this new $60,000 investment, which might, where especially the graphics cards with the 2 slots
and the 2
they're gonna
processors
be
per
huge
card.
power sucks. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe, and this is just thinking ahead, maybe 1,400 is a little conservative. Maybe it's the technical limit of what they can currently do, but maybe it's not enough 10 years from now.
So CompGeek goes, if you put 2 Titans in an OG Mac Pro, something is wrong with you.
Oh, people do it all the
Yep.
time, especially Gianluca in where is he at? Italy or Denmark? I forget. He builds these machines for high-end editors and stuff, and he crams Titans and all kinds of crazy stuff in those Mac Pros all the time.
Yeah.
He does a Pixels mod, of course, but he does it.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
One last thing about the Mac Pro that I noticed in that video was powering it without the case on. It's impossible right now, I think, unless somebody figures out how to jerry-rig it, because
They keep saying that, but how about you power it on first?
as soon as you lift,
And then take
as
the
soon as
case
you
off.
lift
It
it,
takes
it
it off.
as soon as it
turns
turns
off.
off. That's there's
Yep.
four pogo pins underneath there. When you slide that case down, it makes contact with the power switch, and
AKA, if that switch ever goes bad, you're going to have a bad
Yeah.
day.
so
Then it must output a lot of heat, because if it has to switch off, because
Yeah.
of course you're disrupting the airflow once you take that cover
Yes.
off. The air just kind of goes everywhere. If it's that important to not run it without the cover, it must get pretty damn toasty in there.
because
Yeah.
The
for you
the
to
G5s with the plastic.
exactly, and for
Yeah.
you to do experimentation and stuff, like you're putting different components in and building your own system. That means you got to take all the cables off, because you can't lift the cover off with all the cables connected in the back. So you got to take everything out, lift the cover off, do your adjustments, put the cover back on, put all your cables back in. I mean,
Brock says it's J-proof.
it's
Give me 20 years and I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah, Jay will try to overclock it.
yes.
Oh, I'm going to just take a Dremel and cut out the sides. Then I'm good.
Little hinge and a door. Yeah.
Apple probably thought of that and put wires through there. It'll shock you if you do it or something, you know.
Right? That'd be cool.
There was
But,
actually one thing in it that I quite liked. I don't know if you recall this from the video, but inside is a little USB port for hardware keys for dongles. And I think that's I've got software that runs on dongles, and you can plug it in outside. But I love the idea of just being able to have that inside the computer. That's the computer used with that software. The dongle's out of the way. I think it's a really, really cute idea for people using that sort of software.
Here's a question
most
too.
and that's
Go
going to be heavily used in audio production systems.
Well,
and
here's the
stuff.
question too, because I know like a lot of people use like serial dongles, you know, that have a serial number for software and stuff. Because I've used software like that you had to have a USB dongle to actually use the software. If it has something like that, is there a way for the Mac Pro to be locked so you cannot remove the cover to get to that dongle?
I didn't see
I didn't
any,
either, yeah.
There's
Kensington
supposed
slot
to
or
be.
something.
There's supposed to be some kind of lock on it. I'm pretty
Nobody's
sure.
shown us that
I
yet.
have no clue. I have no
See?
clue how it works.
Snazzy sucks. He didn't show.
Yeah.
Maybe his next video we could put a request in.
Yeah.
Hell, we should call him up and say, hey, you want to come talk on Maciac about your findings?
Yeah, we should actually reach out to him. Maybe
You know what? I'll send him a message
Yeah.
tonight.
he will.
See what he
And
says.
then we
I mean, we know people that know him. I think. So.
Hey, Ken might know him. Ken, if you're still there, hey. But Ken bought a
No, we should all just start text bombing
but
him.
Ken bought a $1,000 stand without a monitor, so hey.
Yeah. That part of that video where he puts that light onto the stand and then tries to let go
I actually
of it.
haven't watched the video yet, so I need to go watch it. I haven't.
Oh, it's hilarious. You're going to love it.
I'll have to go watch that.
It's just 6 minutes. You could watch it right now.
No.
We can talk about something
No.
else.
No, I'm the actual producer, so I have to be here to do this. So.
But moving away from the hardware, what do we think about the benchmarks we've seen so far?
To be honest, since they did it with Geekbench 5, like you said, Jay, I want to see them do a Geekbench 4. Just
I want to see him do it with Geekbench 3.
why? Everybody's
Why not?
been using Geekbench 4 for years now, so I mean, there's tons of data out there on Geekbench 4, so why?
Why not?
We know what the Geekbench 4 scores mean. If my Mac Pro bench is less than 26,000,
I actually know,
I know
what
something is
the
wrong.
3 scores know. I know the 3 scores better than I do 4 still. And I've been
well, you're
using
weird.
4 since day 1, and I've been using 5 since day 1.
Of course, Grooty, yeah. But 5 is just, I mean, I've seen some scores. I have not seen anybody do any scores with 4 yet, but I've seen it with 5. So I ran Geekbench 5 on my CMP, and to be honest with you, I was actually not very impressed with the Mac Pro. I thought it would be beating the hell out of my CMP, but it's not really. It is beating it. It is
Yeah.
beating it. But I thought it was going to be by leaps and bounds, and it wasn't that different, you know.
What score did you get?
6,000 and
Was
something.
it? I can't remember.
Yeah, on the multi.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's same
Yeah,
here.
six-
I'm 6
6,000.
6167.
Yeah, mine's 6,098. But my single core is 6,000. Now, single core, it did beat me big time.
By a
Yeah.
lot.
But for multi-core, I think on the new Mac Pro, it was around 8K or something like that.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
So
Which one? The 8 core or the
I don't
28
remember
core?
which one they did the bench on, but
It was probably
That's
the
kind
8
of
core.
an important factor.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's probably the 8 core.
probably, but still, even an 8 core is 16. You know, but I'm running 24 threads, so hey.
I'm just looking on Geekbench at the moment. 24 cores, 2.7 gigahertz, 17,733.
On Geekbench 5.
Yeah.
Geekbench
Okay,
5.
so that's
Yeah.
killing us then.
Like I have no illusion that the
Yeah.
new Mac Pro slaughters our boxes in every single
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But none whatsoever. If anyone comes out and says my classic Mac Pro is better because, unless they say optical drive, like if you use that every day, there's
Yeah.
nothing that's better about your old Mac Pro. Than
Yeah,
the new Mac
exactly.
Pro.
If
It's
I
just
would
the way
ever
it is.
get the new Mac Pro, I'd have to figure out a way to stick an optical drive on the inside.
Why? Just get an external.
Because it's nicer to have it on the inside. I
So
don't have to
we
worry
can
about
see a video of Grooty cutting into the case somehow with a Dremel and destroying.
Well, I was thinking more like feeding it out one of the PCIe slots or something.
Then it's still going to be external.
No.
So Ken goes, a producer has to do stuff. And he goes, oh wait, I'm behind on the stream. Apparently he's not live, so yeah.
So just very quickly here. So the 8-core 3.5 gigahertz multi score 7,644.
Really?
Yeah, which is pretty low if we're just talking about us getting over 6,000
That's
with
super
our.
low.
No,
Yeah.
well, it's not low at all because we need 12 cores to get.
This is true.
There.
Absolutely,
That's
Yeah.
true, but still.
there's a big cost difference between buying a 12-core, Mac Pro 2012 Mac Pro now compared to buying this brand new. So yes, you're right. Obviously, the reason why we're closer is because we've got more cores. But I'm just saying that if we're talking about bang for buck.
Yeah.
I think that the lower spec Mac Pro is perhaps not what people might have hoped for.
Okay, and here's the thing, and I think Jay and I will agree on this, is that a lot of people we've been talking about have been complaining about the price of the Mac Pro, but if you think about it, the old CMP still can do serious work that you need done. It's going to be slower, but for movie studios and stuff that need that stuff quicker, they're going to go for that stuff and pay the 52 grand or whatever it is to get those things.
It's true.
Because they need that speed. But a simple YouTuber does not need $52,000 computer unless you're iJustine and you get the maxed out version with 2 of the high res displays.
Well, I priced out
the mouse.
Yeah.
The mouse. It's a different color.
Yeah. I priced out one that would probably meet my needs perfectly, and it's still 14 grand.
That's the base model. Dude, for what you do, the base model fits your needs perfectly. Don't talk crap.
I don't want just the base model. I mean,
what you want. What you were saying about what you need.
I was going to say want and need are 2 different things.
Yeah, but I want it because it will have the afterburner card, and I can literally render my videos in about 1/10 the time my current one does.
Which makes sense if you have to render 20 videos a day.
Yeah.
Well, I might.
If you're rendering 1 video a week or 2 videos a week, that's not gonna save you time. But if you're editing like Linus Tech Tips does, when they do about 50 videos a day, that's a little different.
Yeah, then it starts making sense.
Then it starts making a lot of sense. Now, like iJustine, I don't even subscribe to her channel, so I don't even know how many videos she puts out. But more power to her.
I've seen a few.
Yeah.
Oh, the watch matches my phone. No, I can't. I just can't. Sorry, I can't.
Or you could go to Computer Clan and watch Ken buy a $1,000 stand. But
I'm sorry, monitor. I can't do that either.
Hey, you're a Patreon, aren't you?
Not sure anymore.
Yeah, I think you are.
I had to drop one of them because last month I had some trouble paying my bills. So I think I either dropped Computer Clan or Crazy Can.
So that extra $2 a month was just hurting you. Just kidding.
You gotta cut it where you can, buddy. Stop buying food for my kid. That saved me a lot of money.
Now, the question I would like to see with the geek, and I haven't seen this yet, I don't know if anybody else has, is the compute scores on those new video cards. The Vegas, they put in there.
I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, I would love to see that, the compute scores for the video cards. Because
we just need someone to be a nerd like us and do those kind of tests.
I heard y'all talk about my Pro Stand while I was in the studio touching my Pro Stand. Oh. Are you? Hopefully he's not stroking it, or
Yeah, who knows? He might be.
He's probably sitting there now in his bathrobe, and yeah.
Well, no, Ken's probably got it on like a little felt pedestal where it doesn't get any scratches and all on it, because. So
that's the image I don't want.
Yeah. Anything else about the Mac Pro before we move on?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just gonna. We're probably next week. We can probably bring it up again and have a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about. So
Probably.
just gonna wait until then.
Well, we might have some more info too, because there's a lot more videos coming out with people actually doing real reviews of it.
That's what I
Yeah,
just
I know.
said.
But I'm just saying, once they get those out, then yeah, we'll have more info. All
Yeah.
right,
All I know until then is that I won't have one.
and I won't either. All right, next topic tonight: Apple's biggest fails. Now,
We're gonna be here a while.
Number
This could
one.
actually take a couple hours, guys, because
Well,
But Apple doesn't fail at anything. Remember, they're perfect.
yeah, let's try to condense it down. Apple 3.
yeah.
Yep, that's a winner.
Well, that's a
Renting
loser,
one.
actually, I would say. But you know,
You just pick it up and drop it, guys. I mean, it's that easy to
the
fix.
iPhone 4, you're holding it wrong.
Yeah, but it was still a
I'd
very
say that
good
was
success.
a fail.
No,
Because
Yeah.
actually the iPhone 4 was a resounding sales success. It was just the repair of the defect in the iPhone 4 was
yes.
fail.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't
Well,
repair it.
here's the stupid thing about the iPhone 4. Anytime you touch an antenna, bare metal antenna, you're attenuating it. It doesn't matter. That's simple common knowledge because your body acts as a antenna as itself. So,
By the way, Bruce suggested this topic, so thank you, Bruce.
Oh, you're welcome.
so what about other stuff, Bruce? What's your biggest fails that you think Apple has had?
I've got a list.
He's like,
Okay, guys, sit back and let's let Bruce talk.
No, I mean, obviously the Apple III was up there. I mean, that was an absolute classic. The Macintosh Portable, which, of course, I touched on last time, was I mean, with Apple's sort of first portable computer, I mean, they really dropped the ball on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Underpowered, ridiculously heavy. I mean, the original one didn't even have a backlight. So that's sort of that's I think a classic fail. The Macintosh TV, which of course is the important thing is that these things have all become collectible now. I mean, these ones that are sort of some of the worst that they ever made. I mean, they are the ones that everyone's chasing and, trying to get hold of on eBay and paying ridiculous amounts of money for. But in the Macintosh TV, you could either watch TV or could use a computer. I mean, you couldn't watch TV like in a little window or something while you're working. I mean, it was a device that could either be a TV or either be a computer. And that was, I think, sort of a huge fail from... I mean, it just turned it into little more than a gimmick, really. I've got a guest here with me. The G3 iBook. Now, although this is more of a retrospective fail, if you could smell this right now, these things, it's the glue or the plastic. I mean, this smells like a locker room after a game of football.
They're awful.
They just stink.
And I've got so many of them.
why do you have so many of them there, Grooty? That's the question.
Because I have videos planned for them, and I've had videos planned for them for about 2.5 years.
So much for planning.
Yeah.
I think I hate to say it, we're gonna have to have a hoarding intervention on Grooty here one of these days.
Too late.
I literally just bought a G3 900 14-inch like 3 days ago.
But
So I've got another one
it's
coming in
interesting
now.
because I think I still have about 5 of them, and I've sold and traded a bunch of them over the last few years. I've never had a G3 iBook smell.
Ah.
Never.
Well, everyone I've ever sort of touched has smelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
maybe
least
it's
2 or 3 of mine reek.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not all of them were made with the same materials. It's maybe something specific to the materials there, or maybe it's the way they're stored or something like that. But the plastic in them, just
I think it's more towards the transparent acrylic ones.
Yeah.
Those ones tend to smell worse.
Yeah.
What else is on your list?
Well, again, this is another sort of retrospective one, but the white PowerBooks, like the Intel ones, the top case had that little tiny thin bit of plastic around, you know, where the top case comes down, and they've got the tiny little thin bit of plastic where they meet.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would challenge anyone to find one of those today that doesn't have some or all of that plastic snapped off. You know, I mean,
My giveaway one has that, except it did actually snap after I put it back together. But I glued it back together, so it's still in one piece.
And
I mean,
the funny thing is, it didn't happen as much with the black MacBook. It took a lot longer for the black MacBooks to have that same issue. Okay. So there must some difference.
You're talking about one of these,
maybe
right?
The way,
Yep.
Maybe
this one doesn't have any missing, so
plastic or something. I don't know, but
all the way around the edges. Are you saying that all the way around that edges that doesn't have any plastic?
no, it's all there. That's what I'm saying.
You should frame that.
Yeah,
I have two. I have two of them like that. Actually,
mint one.
That is not the original top case.
It can't be the original top case.
Nope, no way.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a 2008. So
yeah. And sorry to interrupt your list, but the next MacBook, the unibody design with the kind of rubber bottom on it that just started peeling off randomly.
Anything you put rubber on like that is stupid.
But they did the recall. Mine's still in one piece. I don't know if it got recalled or not because I bought it that way. It's fine.
Yeah, take the screws off a few times. They'll change.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one of those and it still has the rubber on, but most of the ones that I've laid my hands on have had cracks around the ports, around the side.
Oh yeah.
Especially by the MagSafe.
Yeah. And then the other issue with those, if for anyone who's ever, poured a drink into the keyboard, which not me, but people do that. But the keyboard is actually sort of glue welded in there. So if you want to replace the keyboard, you've got to rip it out and pop all the little plastic rivets in there. They're all just they've melted on there, and you've got to pop them all out. Then you've got to sort of shave all the bits off them, and then you use screws to then put a replacement keyboard, and you've got to drill little holes. Now, of course, the obvious thing is just you could just consider that keyboard can't be replaced, but it can. But it's a huge job. I mean, it's a massive job to replace that. And when you consider that all of the other bodies have got screws holding the keyboard in, it was a real kind of cheap, cost-cutting measure, obviously, in the manufacturer to do that. And it just sort of means that, for most people, if you do get some water onto the keyboard, that's the computer shot. I mean, unless you use an external keyboard, but
you could just replace the top case.
Yes, you could. But obviously, with it being a unibody, it's a
pain, but you can do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So there's another honourable mention. If I say noisy fans, how about that in terms of sort of Mac computers?
How about the first MDD? Mac without a fan?
Yeah. Which one was that?
That was the very first one. The 512 and the 128.
Well, and plus, that's right. And they. Yeah, I mean they
bake
very hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, even the iMac.
We have to narrow it down, guys, because we're listing all their fails.
Yeah.
But we're focusing on the biggest fails.
One of their biggest fails would be the 2011 MacBook Pro with the graphics card. The graphics,
absolutely,
huh?
Yeah.
Technically, not Apple's fail.
Yeah, it's the same with the ones failing because of capacitors. It's not their fault.
But Apple,
the way they handled it, is an Apple.
That's
fail.
what I was going to say.
No, actually, the 2010s, the capacitors. The 2011s, the GPUs.
Yeah, I was thinking of things like the G5 iMacs and that had problems with the capacitors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's again, and
that is
same
a big fail.
Yeah. So I mean, same with the GPUs, and these are Apple, putting in components that they believe to be fine, but they weren't. But as you say, it's then how they then handle these failures.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the key is Apple doesn't handle them very well, especially the latest one with the butterfly keyboard thing.
Well, anything after 2012 could really be on the list. They haven't done anything good since 2012. But one honorable mention I want to make is the Trash Can Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that should be written up as their biggest fail
Yes.
of the last decade.
Innovate my
Yeah,
ass,
at least.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
Can't
remember
get
that?
it.
I'm
Innovate my
running out
ass.
of I'm running out of oxygen in my office, so I'm just
Oh, no
gonna
problem.
step
No
outside
problem.
for a minute. I'll be sorry.
A couple of things that a lot of people don't probably know about that was a failure. One of them I mentioned in the chat was the Pippin.
Oh, yeah.
That was their attempt at a game console that didn't really.
But Apple never really advertised it as one of their things.
But it was
It
theirs.
was all Bandai that was doing it. I mean, it was based off a Mac, but it was never really advertised as an Apple product.
True. And of course, the big one, because it actually got a mention in The Simpsons, the Newton.
The Lisa, the Newton.
You know,
Yes, it was
with its handwriting
before its time, wasn't it?
with its crappy handwriting recognition.
Eat up, Martha.
I mean, it's sort of it was a concept that was just, I think, a little technology hadn't quite caught up yet.
Yeah.
The thing is, by the end of it, when Jobs killed it, it was actually starting to get pretty good.
Well, you know the reason why he killed it.
Yes, it was Scully's baby.
Exactly.
But still.
It was a revenge thing against Scully. So, yeah. So.
And I want to mention, I don't know anything about this old stuff. That's why you guys are here. But I want to throw in the 2014 Mac Mini as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah, and then that's a
vastly
sad story.
underpowered piece of crap.
Yeah, I've never had one. Don't know anything about
With
it.
non-upgradable RAM.
Yeah, that's mean.
Yeah.
Well,
and actually, I want to nominate one more machine from 2012. It was made and sold from 2012 up until mid to late 2016. That is the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the same problem with the RAM slot pins becoming detached from the board. They sold that thing for a long time.
But
they sold many of them.
With the same problem.
You know it's fixable, so.
It's very fixable.
But Apple won't fix it.
How many of them are out there that have been trashed or recycled or whatever because people thought that their board was toast?
Yeah, but it's the nice thing because then I can find them cheap for the next time Colin fries my board.
The next time. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the next time. Yep.
I noticed in the live chat that someone mentioned the titanium, MacBook, the G4
PowerBook,
PowerBook.
The first titaniums definitely were not built well. In fact, it's nearly impossible to find the first generation or two in one piece. They're always shattered titanium cases, and the paint had problems sticking.
Yeah.
But the last, the DVI models, they actually held up pretty nicely, and I think they've finally gotten the paint formula pretty good. The paint, you usually can find them with the paint pretty good on them.
Now, I'm going to mention this one, and Jace threatened to cut somebody off if they did. If he does, then all of you guys get cut off. I'll be the only one on the stream, actually. So,
oh, you're correct.
And here it is, the Puck Mouse.
Yes.
Screw you.
It was such a poor design.
Yes.
It's
nothing wrong with the Puck.
It's a classic today, but
it's
at
a
the
classic
time,
today, but it's so hard to use. I hated it when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I had little kid hand
You still have
size
little
back
kid
then.
hands.
I will defend the Puck until the day I die.
I mean, I want to apologize before I say this. I am sorry, Jay, but having worked in a studio where we had loads and loads of Macs, all with Puck mice connected to them, and we would constantly be having to get up and down from one computer to the next. And this is in a production type situation. It's not just for sort of fun and games. The number of times that I would sit down at a computer with a Puck mouse and it was just slightly, skew. It wasn't perfectly straight, and you would just put your hand on it and start moving it, and your cursor would be moving all wonky because the puck mouse wasn't straight. Most of your normal mice are designed in a way so that when you put your hand down,
Up is up
when
and
it's
down.
orientated correctly.
It's a
Whereas-
damn shame. I was going to invite him back, but I'm just starting to like him, and then he has to say this stuff.
But
It's a damn
But
shame.
having said that, I did find a resolution to that at the time. I mean, I know there are all these things that you can clip over the top. We've seen those. But what we used to do is we used just to pull the little coloured bits off the side. And that left little indentations on them. And you could just...
That's genius.
And then when we got rid of the computers in the end, I just had all the little plastic bits in a drawer and I just stuck them back on and, sort of, they're all fine. So...
You stripped them?
So,
Yeah, I did.
so Dana in the chat says F the puck.
But it's very true.
Now-
On Discord right now.
Now, not only that mouse, but here's another, and I consider this a failure, is the Magic Mouse. That is the most unergonomic design ever.
Well, I always had problems getting the soft buttons to
Yeah,
work.
that is a problem sometimes. And then if you're holding your hand on there, sometimes it would click, and you're like, "No, I didn't click it."
Also, my first Magic Mouse, it would just randomly disconnect from using it for a few minutes every single time.
And then they even made it even worse with the Magic Mouse 2, because they basically took the batteries out so you can't change batteries, and they put the damn charging port on the bottom.
Don't start that garbage again. Come on, dude.
But it's true, Jay.
It's
they
a
should have put it on the
non-issue.
end,
It's
and then it
you
could
know
just
what
be
I
a
use at
wired
work?
mouse.
You know what I use at work? A Magic Mouse 2 with the charging port on the bottom. And you know what I do when I go out to lunch? I plug it in. When I come back, I have 25% charge
But
that'll last me
There's a
all
lot
damn
of people
week.
that forget to plug that thing in, because I've done
Yeah.
it before. Okay.
They cannot adjust their design for every idiot out there. It's just not possible. If you forget
just
to
put it
charge
on
your
the
mouse,
end of the mouse, Jay, like a
And those are-
normal wireless
those are the
mouse
same
that's
kind of people
rechargeable.
that carry 5 juice packs
Okay.
with them to make sure that their phone never dips under 30%.
But here's another
that they
thing,
forget
is
to charge their mouse.
The new Magic Keyboard you could plug it in and make it a wired keyboard by
Exactly.
Yeah, because it has space on the back
they
of
could-
it. Where are you going to put that
you
on
could.
a mouse?
You can do that to the front.
There's plenty of space on
Y'all
this
are
thing
hopeless.
to put
Hopeless.
a cord someplace if I wanted to. The bottom, I mean, put it on the side even, hell, because you had space on the side.
Yeah, how are you going to use it with a cable sticking out the side?
Easy.
Yeah, show me.
It'd be easier than trying to do it while it's plugged in on the bottom.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. My God, I'm gonna.
There was a mouse, a cabled mouse. I can't remember what it's called, but it was the white one with the clear plastic, and the whole top was the button. Do you
Oh,
remember?
you mean
Pro
That's the
mouse.
Magic
no,
Mouse.
no, no,
That's
no,
the Magic-
no. That's the Pro Mouse.
Pro
That
mouse.
was
is
Pro
the
mouse.
one
Pro
That
mouse,
is.
Yeah.
That
Hold on.
that one had a cute little design flaw because that's the one. Now the beaut design flaw about that one was if you happen to move the mouse on top of the cable is just the right thickness to sit
Yeah.
underneath the plastic
It
shell on
keeps
the
you from
outside,
clicking it.
and you can't press it down because it's
Yeah.
hitting the cable. That was one of the things that made
I
me
still
keep
think it's a very good mouse design, other than the fact it didn't have but just one button on it. But
Now that is the crappiest mouse Apple ever made, because the side buttons, you need to be the Hulk to push those things in. There's
you're
no way
talking
to
about
comfortably
the
push
Mighty
them out.
Mouse.
No, am
Yeah.
I?
There's
They
no
all
There's no
They-
side.
they all
There's
Pro
there's no
mouse.
side. That's
Yeah.
clips, Jay. That's not a button.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mighty Mouse then. They all suck.
Mighty Mouse was just a giant mouse flop.
Yeah.
The thing is, after the puck, they never made a good mouse.
The Pro Mouse was
Was decent. It
Really
was decent, but
incredible.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
What about the
The only
scroll
problem
ball
with the
on
Pro
the Mighty
Mouse was what? Sorry, I missed
the
that.
scroll wheel or the scroll ball on the Mighty Mouse.
Exactly. The Mighty Mouse is just a piece of junk. But, you know, the only thing that the Pro Mouse had against it was the wire coming out of the mouse would end up crimping and then fraying and not working anymore.
So,
It's the only big problem I ever noticed with the Pro Mouse.
so we're saying that Apple has had a problem with mice in their past, as far as
But the puck is not
Yeah.
one of them.
yes, the puck
it's
is
always just it's an obsession with sort of sort of form over function, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
I think the problem with Apple is that they do not know how to make an ergonomic mouse. That's the reason why
They
I
don't.
I use a Logitech mouse, because it fits better in my hand. I'm not like, my hand's not all cramped, you know.
that looks like a transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the EVGA X10, you can even adjust the height on the button for your hand. I like mine extremely steep, so my hand it fits perfectly.
And Jay uses a sideways mouse, so
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The biggest complaint, which is very funny and ironic, the biggest complaint about the puck was that it's so unergonomic. Apple, from day one until this very day, December 19th, 2019, has never ever made an ergonomic
exactly.
Because if you want an ergonomic mouse, it's not just my hand fits, therefore it's ergonomic. You need a vertical mouse. Or a pen. That's
Well,
the
I
only way
don't
to be
know.
ergonomic.
The first mouse they made, it wasn't super ergonomic, but it fit better than most of the mice they made later.
What the
Like
hell
the
would you
ADB
ever
the ADB
think
mouse?
What?
What part of the original mouse would you ever think is ergonomic, for crying out loud? That
The
thing was a
steep
freaking brick with
incline
a
on the back of the mouse.
You're talking about the trapezoid mouse, not
Yeah,
the
the
first
trapezoid
mouse.
mouse.
That's not the first mouse. The trapezoid
Okay, the
mouse
second
is the
mouse.
best mouse. The trapezoid's about the best mouse they ever made.
Right,
They
the
didn't even
first
make
one
the damn
was-
thing Logitech did.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
well,
trapezoid
that's
mouse
the
had.
other thing. The Pro mouse was made by Logitech too. So
I think
apparently,
they were all made by. Most of them were made by Logitech.
the Apple designed ones are the ones that are crap. The ones made by Logitech are semi okay.
Go ahead, Bruce.
They go for looks over function. Trust me,
Yeah.
because this is about the most unergonomic thing in the universe, and to be honest with you, it's about painful to use sometimes.
So out of everything on the list, the biggest debate is about the mice.
I think that's to be honest with you, they haven't come up with a good mouse. I mean, they make them look pretty. That's pretty much it.
Oh yes, and you can have your dog sniff it when it's
There you
black.
go.
Ooh,
Now they have black
I'll never get over that.
magic mice. Whoop-tee. Now, you know what the next one they're going to come out with is a multicolored one, because they have to have the rainbow colors in it.
Well, after Tim Cook's recent remarks, I don't doubt it.
All right, guys, we're running way behind here. We got a lot more topics to cover here, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next one. And this one is one we came up with, I think, after seeing some stuff last night.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
It was yesterday, yeah.
This is fake news. Imagine that. I just saw the topic. I haven't seen these topics yet. I just see them as I see them pop up here. How to spot fake items for sale. There was a listing that Grooty posted in our iMessage chat that we chat with all the time. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, that is fake.
It had to have been fake.
So,
And the main reason, I don't know which picture are you showing
not
pictures yet?
Hold on. Okay, yeah, the first one is the MacBook signature, so I'll show that one.
Okay. So the biggest problem here is it's a sub-signature on an Apple device, for one thing. But Steve Jobs never actually signed things, rarely ever. Okay. The last signature that was sold by that Steve Jobs, it was an autograph by him, sold for like 44 grand. This thing right here is listed on eBay, apparently still right now, even though I've reported it, and the seller, because the seller's got a lot of everything he's selling's got to be fake. But anyway,
He's a big Andy Warhol fan, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. In fact, he just got to 10 feedback points on his selling. I'm looking through it. He's got a bunch of fake sellers on there. The last two of them were from the same guy, and the guy had bought a $4.25 Andy Warhol a real signature for $4.25.
Yep.
A Warhol signature for $4.25. That's a
Alarm
big
bells.
red flag right
I don't
there.
even know who that
You don't know
is.
who Andy Warhol is?
Not a
Dude.
clue.
Do you remember the Campbell's soup can painting?
No.
Wow.
You need to go. You need to go
Okay,
read.
there's no
Yeah, there's
helping.
no helping, Jay. You need to go read some history. Bruce, you know
Or
who
maybe
Andy
we just
Warhol
had
is, don't
different
you?
soup brands.
I
in
know who
Europe.
Andy
Yeah,
Warhol
okay.
is. Yeah. I've been to an art gallery from
Oh.
time to time. So
See, Jay is just
But
uncouth.
anyway.
He has no, you know.
Steve Jobs was known for not signing anything. The only thing he ever would really sign is checks. Okay? Most autographs you get that are out there in the wild are actual checks that he signed. Very rarely would he sign anything. And the ones that are out there that have been verified to be real have sold for over $40,000.
And he uses his full first name.
99%
Which
of
is
the time.
Steven,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven. This thing right here, and you can keep going through the pictures,
Okay.
GT. But this thing right here, this iBook, number one, Steve Jobs would have never signed the top case of an iBook because, and we were talking to Steve yesterday about it.
Not
He
Steve
didn't wanna-
Jobs.
The
Yeah.
other Steve.
Our Steve.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
creepy. Yeah.
He never wanted to affect the beauty of one of the Apple devices. And Steve was telling about this woman that finally got him to sign it in the battery compartment where no one could see his signature. Okay. But once again, he rarely ever signed anything. He usually would refuse to sign things. So getting anything signed, you need proof for one thing. It's got to be basically verified. You have to have a picture of him signing it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
And now the other Steve Wozniak, you could get all kind of signatures from him because he signs everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because even our
He'll sign
even
it for
our
that.
own
Yeah.
Steve has a real authentic Steve Wozniak
basically,
signature.
Wozniak's signatures are worthless
Yeah.
because he signs
Everything.
so much.
He signs
this is,
anything.
that's
Yeah.
the whole thing. I mean, there are so many of them out there. They're just really not worth anything at all. So
But Jobs' signature is priceless if it's real.
Well, let me hold
If
on.
you
Let
look
me
at this
let me go
iBook-
back to the first picture here because I want to say something because we talked about this last night and this is how we spotted it was a fake. The way the description read and is
Yeah.
that this guy had it signed by Steve Jobs and he basically has had possession of it ever since from another person
Yeah.
that got it signed. Now,
Yeah.
that's a red flag right there because if a person got something signed by Steve Jobs, why would they let that go right away to someone else? The second thing is,
Yeah.
look how beat up this MacBook is.
this iBook is so worn out.
Yes.
Okay. This
Unless he
signature looks
signed that with
brand
a
new.
laser engraver, it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Because the signature,
And speaking of signatures, if you ever see a Mac for sale, that's rare and amazing because it has a bunch of signatures in the back of a case. Yeah, there's more than one out there.
Yeah.
there's probably
But
millions.
the real deal felt tip.
no, Jay, I know what I
Yeah.
have. I know what I have.
It's
I know what
real.
it's worth.
Yeah, okay,
Steve
sure.
Jobs licked it. He licked it.
But yeah, Jobs, in the end story, even here, because if he had just signed this thing in this condition, okay, in this condition, he would have never signed it because it's too beat
Yeah.
up. Jobs was a stickler for,
Perfection.
beauty and professionalism and
Uh-huh.
stuff. Okay, so this thing should have been, mint condition if he had actually signed it. And trust me, he didn't sign this thing. This thing's fake.
Yeah.
And now this seller also has a lot of other interesting things, and I've actually reported him to eBay because he's got one picture that is a guaranteed fake. Because
Hold on, I'll pull
it's
that
a
up.
picture
Hold
of
on.
Yeah.
Here it is right there. All right, it's up now.
And people in the chat are asking for a link that you supposed to have posted 5 minutes ago, but
No,
never did.
I didn't post anything. That was Grooty's job.
I know Grooty was supposed to post the link as
Well,
soon as
if
the
you guys
topic
want to
came up.
report this, it's still probably up, even though they said they were going to take it down. Let me look at real quick. Here it is. Yeah, it's still up. Okay, go report this, because this is definitely a fake. There is no way that he can even verify it, and it won't let me post it. I'll have to shorten the link.
Way to prepare, Grooty. Way to prepare.
Hey.
Last time we have an alcoholic on the show.
But anyways, if everybody looking at this picture sees,
Yeah, take a good look at this picture.
yeah,
Okay? What do you see wrong here?
yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, Trump and Kim Il-jung are not going to sign one picture. And then how much did he have it listed for?
Okay, I posted that
Yeah.
link. He has, I don't remember. Let me look.
You're going to make me go look now.
He has it posted for $200.
Yeah, wouldn't you think a one-of-a-kind
That's
picture?
a bargain.
Oh,
Yeah.
You just posted the MacBook one.
Yeah. Yeah, go report the iBook one. It's definitely a fake. But, yeah, it's ridiculous because the chances of getting Kim Jong-un and Trump to sign this one picture,
It's probably slim to very zero.
yeah, because first off, Kim Jong-un, of course, hates the U.S. He's not going to be signing it for some guy in the U.S. Okay.
What if Trump asked him to sign that photo?
And actually, that's not even
And then he
that's
did.
not even Trump's signature. If you ever seen his signature, that's just somebody scribbled a bunch of lines like this.
That
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
just a
something
big
my
giant
3-year-old
scribble.
did.
Yeah.
Trump's signature does look similar to that, but that definitely isn't his signature. You know, it's hilarious. And basically, what you need to do when, for instance, if you're looking for something autographed, it's got to be graded, it's got to have proof, and number one, if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. Okay, you need to verify what the last similar thing sold for, and then look at the price it's trying to be sold
Yeah.
for. So, $2,500 for this iBook, when the last thing signed by Jobs that wasn't a check, it was, I think, a magazine, sold for $44,000. There's a problem here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
magazine's too expensive.
This seller clearly has had a lot of practice at Andy Warhol's
Yeah.
signature.
You
Oh,
see what
yeah.
I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got so
Lots.
Yeah, everyone should report this seller. The quicker he's off of eBay, the
yeah.
better.
Because what did you say? A couple of people have already fallen to his scam.
At least two people have bought something from him that are legitimate feedback. One of them complained that it took too long to ship, but he finally got it. He bought a baseball card for like $100.
Ken goes a Jobs floppy sold for $84K.
Yeah.
If you got that link,
If it was signed by Jobs and verified, it's worth probably $84K.
yeah, throw that link in there, Ken.
This iBook would probably, if it was in good shape for one thing, and if it was verified, would probably be going for at least 40.
So just be aware, guys, when you see stuff on eBay, like I said, Grooty showed us this one MacBook or iBook, and we spotted it right away. We're like, no, that's fake. Because the biggest thing that got me, and the reason why I said it was fake, is because how beat up the thing was, and the signature was too legible. In other words, it wasn't worn out or anything, because something that's been that worn out.
Actually, if you zoom into the picture, you can even look. You can see where you stopped during the signing to make sure it's just perfectly signed. It's definitely a forgery.
Yeah, and any post, whether it's Marketplace or Craigslist or eBay, look for the usual words. Rare, is one of them. Prototype is
Oh
another
God.
one. People call all kinds of things a prototype.
Even Grooty
Yes.
does.
And when in doubt,
But he had a
Well,
prototype.
yeah, usually a lot of the times when you run into a prototype, it's not usually a prototype. When you actually do run into a prototype, you're like me and you just stumbled across it.
Our Mike stumbled across that one too. So,
Yeah, that
and his
too.
is actually a more interesting prototype than yours was, Grooty. I hate to say that, but
I agree.
because the
I agree.
iMac G5 with the
Card
card
reader.
reader that never went into
Yeah.
production, that was
Yeah.
more interesting, I think, than anything. So
I agree.
yeah.
And it actually worked,
exactly.
And it works.
All right,
which I thought was actually kind of interesting.
that they actually put it in the software, huh? Still,
Well, that's not surprising that the software supports it. I mean, it's just surprising that they actually it actually left Apple and it actually functioned properly, being a prototype.
Yeah.
So it still makes you wonder why something like that never made it into production.
Well, it's
back.
because
I mean,
you figured it
It was
out. but
2005.
the slot kept jamming.
Yeah, the mechanism was wonky as shit.
Yeah.
As hell.
They probably
Yeah,
didn't
that
want to
is
sell
it.
it that way.
yep. All right, so that's our topic on spotting fake stuff. So you guys be careful out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
And go
Yeah.
report the
Next
guy.
topic
Please.
is, and I'm going to throw this over to Grooty, is iPod fever. So tell us what you got there, Grooty.
Well, guys, I'm considering making an iPod series now. I've been an even before I was a Mac collector, I was an iPod collector. Yeah, like a fourth generation right there.
He'll collect just about anything, basically.
Or the shuffle right here, the pregnancy
I got one of
tester
them.
shuffle.
I got one of them.
Yeah,
Me too.
you know, and also thank you, Kane Anderson, for having it engraved. That killed the value of this thing. I didn't even know this thing was engraved until after I bought it, but it still works 100%.
I see a trend there. You usually buy stuff before looking at
Yeah.
the pictures and then
Well,
complain
no,
after
there
the
was
fact.
no pictures and there was no description that was engraved. I was pretty mad, but I got it for like $10. So I wasn't
Okay,
worth it a
so
whole
we
lot.
just talked about fake stuff, and Grooty's buying stuff without actually looking at stuff.
Well, no, the only picture when I bought this thing was the front of it. And the engravings
Anyway.
on the side. But anyway. I've been collecting iPods. My first iPod was an HP iPod, bought brand new in 2004. And then I bought an iPod Video, and then another iPod Video, and then the Classic. And around the time the Classic came out, I started collecting all the original Classic line. Starting with the first generation, I had every single model, and I still have them. They're sitting at my mother's. I need to bring them back over here. But I've decided, after seeing Dank Pod's that YouTube channel, I really enjoy his videos. But I've always wanted to do this. I'm not copying him, although it might seem it.
You're a
Yeah,
copy.
you
of him.
are.
But yeah, I am now, but I wanted to do it before then.
But you didn't, so you're copying.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to start doing iPod videos too. Yeah, it still runs.
That's because I actually
GT.
replaced the screen on this. I have a video that I replaced the screen.
Yeah, you do. It was a good video. You should do an SD card swap in it or something like
One
that.
of these days.
Yeah. But I've been wanting to do iPod videos. I've got a lot of iPods, a lot of them, and a lot of them have been modified.
Grooty, you have a
And,
lot of everything. Come on now.
Yeah, but all of my iPods are functional as far as I know. They haven't been turned on in a few years. But they were functional the last time I used them. But I
So is my
was
brain.
watching one of Dank Pod's videos. This right here is the Big Chungus. The 20 gigabyte original second generation iPod.
All I see is bubble wrap.
Well, yeah, because I'm unboxing it in one of my videos, but if you look, there is. This is still in box. It's
Is
not
that the
new
click
in
wheel?
box. but it's completely
Is that the
boxed.
click wheel or is that the old?
This is the scroll wheel, the normal touch wheel, not the actual jog wheel.
So the one that lights up red.
No, that's the third generation. This is the
So
second.
it's
This is one of the ones with a power wire on the top.
okay. This one has the 30-pin connector on the bottom. So yeah.
And let's see if I can get it to the camera better. I don't want to completely unwrap it until I film it tonight.
Dude, just rewrap it for your video.
Well, that takes away from the
Oh,
magic.
There is no
there is no magic. You've already
you
spoiled it
Grab a
on
knife, You're gonna
Mac.
stab yourself. You're gonna bleed on it, and that's that.
This is a 20 gig complete in box. It's not mint and it is slightly used, but it's near mint. It's from the eBay listing pictures
Okay.
I've seen.
He says it's near mint, but he has not taken it out of the box yet. So how do you know that?
Yeah.
It's
you
just
need to
got
open
light
this up.
scratches on it, and it's
Open
got
it.
the original battery in it and all this stuff.
Open
These
it.
things with a complete inset usually go on eBay for around
Okay,
a grand.
Grooty, your definition of near mint and my definition of near mint are way totally two different things.
Well, you'll see when I film it.
Because
GT.
near mint means
But I
no
wanna-
scratching at all, nowheres on it.
But
Well,
you know his mint. It's like this is
If it's-
mint, guys. It has a
If
crack
it's
in the
no
screen, but
scratching
it's
at
mint.
all, GT, it would be mint. And I do have a few mint iPods that have no scratches whatsoever on them.
But
What do you mean, but?
your mint always has a
Yeah.
but.
No,
That's right.
they are mint. They've been in cases since day one of me buying them.
Hmm.
Mm. But
Detecting some skepticism. Here.
Yeah.
yeah,
just a little, just a
I
little.
also have an iPod Classic 7th Gen coming in the mail that I'm going to be upgrading to a 512 gig SD card and put in a 3,000 milliamp hours battery in. So it's the biggest battery ever, basically, for an iPod. And it's supposed to last like 120 hours on one charge, which is going to be pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ken's telling us to leave you alone, Grooty.
Thank you, Ken.
He hasn't known you long enough.
Exactly.
Uh,
He doesn't know you like we know you.
So what you're saying is you're starting a new series, and I should buy an additional hard drive for Wired.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
Especially if he's doing 4K now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I compress the crap out of those
Then why do it in 4K if you compressed it that much?
because it's still in 4K and it still looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. All right, so that's on Grooty's new iPod frenzy he's going on. So he'll have a new iPod series starting up soon. So be sure to check out his channel. Make sure you go there, subscribe also. If not,
Also, don't forget about the giveaway.
Also, in the description, go and subscribe to all of our channels if you don't mind.
Exactly.
You know, we're all looking for it,
Exactly.
and we will have Bruce's link in there. I don't remember if I put it in last week, but we will definitely make sure it gets in this week for your channel there, Bruce. Yep.
Thank you.
So we're gonna move on to news and announcements. Jay, you put these in here, so I'm gonna let you go with that.
Yeah. One of them I'm just going to touch on very briefly. A very well-known company that produces antivirus software for the Mac, Malwarebytes. They've put together some statistics from the last few years, and they found that in 2019, Mac malware was on the rise.
Yeah, it's
There's
kind of a given.
no real nasty malware out there, and I know because I keep tabs on this stuff. No crypto miners, no ransomware, just annoying stuff that steals data from your computer or installs a search bar, stuff like that. But if you don't believe that Macs can get malware, they do. If you don't believe in antivirus software, get the little free scanner from Malwarebytes, install that, so at least you have something. So I'm not going to start the whole malware debate right now because we only have 10 minutes left. But yeah, if you haven't done a scan of your Mac in a long time or ever, do a scan. because you don't know
Yep.
if you have malware. Malware hides.
Yes.
Also, Ken's
So-
heading out. Bye, Ken.
Yeah.
See you again. You don't know if you have malware. So saying, "Oh, I've never had a problem," is BS, because malware hides.
Yeah, it
It
can
goes
run in the
undetected.
background. You'll
Yeah.
never know it.
So if you haven't done it, do a scan and see if your Mac is free and
Yes.
clear. So that's that one. The second one was actually either yours or Steve's idea. I don't know anything about that.
About Apple pulls.
Oh yeah, I don't know who put it on there, but I can talk
Yeah, go
about
for it.
I don't remember what the app's called, although I have it on my phone.
Rewound. It's right there in the notes. Are
Rewound,
you
yeah.
reading the notes?
Yeah.
He never reads the notes. I could tattoo him on his arm. He still won't read it.
Yeah, Rewound app was removed from the App Store because Apple basically got jealous, and it could be copyright infringement too. But I don't really want to talk about it because I predicted that it was going to be removed. In fact, I didn't even think it would end up on the App Store for one reason. And that was because 10 years ago, there was a very, very similar, almost identical app called iClassic, which was for sale on the Cydia app. If you're jailbroken, you could download iClassic, and it did exactly the same thing. And the only reason why they never released it on the App Store is because Apple forbid it. So it's not a shock to me that Apple actually removed it. It's more of a shock to me that they allowed it on the App Store in the
So
first place.
what does the app do?
Basically what it does, and you can use this thing, is set it up to have different control schemes. The iClassic one didn't do that. It was only one control scheme, which was just a normal iPod scroll wheel, okay? But on this one, you can just have it as buttons and stuff. That's, I think, how they got around Apple at first. But here, actually, let me try changing the skin here. Oh, yeah, got a scroll wheel.
So it's just a music player.
Basically,
Okay.
and this is actually has less feature than iClassic did. iClassic, you could control the whole thing, down to pausing and volume and everything on the app. This is just basically scrolling and menu and stuff. But the way they got around Apple was you could change the skin and layout here. Remove skin. And now it's just a bunch of buttons. That's what it comes with. Then what you'd have to do is go online and download a new skin for it. And then attach it on and change the layout, and it would work.
Mm-hmm.
But Apple basically said, nope, we're not letting you do it. And they took it off the App Store. And even though it sucks, I don't really blame them because it does basically infringe on their copyrights. But still, it sucks because it's kind of a neat app. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it is very clearly a copy of, sort of the iPod design, and I assume they're charging for it, so they're sort of profiting from it. So Apple
no,
being
it's
Apple,
free. It's 100%
is it free?
free.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, someone in the chat just said they paid $2.
He says a fortune.
Mine was
Matthew
free.
goes a fortune to pay $2 for whatever for the additional features. So it's basically an in-app purchase. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I never noticed the in-app purchases.
So I mean, it's maybe a little bit mean, but I guess can't really blame Apple. It's
Yeah.
it's within Apple character.
But okay,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
you have Apple fans out there that want to pay tribute to Apple products, and then they get shot down like that. That's you're really killing your fan base, Apple. That's simple as that. There's lots of people that love the Apple products. But
Well, what they really need to do is bring back a device with a click wheel on it, and maybe include Bluetooth syncing or something, and make it where you don't really need to have it wired into iTunes. Okay, but because some people just want to carry around a music player. That's why I want to start up an iPod series, because I still use my iPods. In fact, my daily user, which I don't know where I put currently, it's somewhere upstairs, is a 128 gigabyte iPod mini. It sounds beautiful. It had one of the best DACs ever made for an Apple device in it. And the battery lasts for days upon days with a CF card in it. You know, some people just want a normal device that just plays music, and Apple's not catering to that anymore.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be it for that one. We're going to go ahead and start getting to the end of our show here. We can talk about Steve's.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve ain't here.
He's not here
to do his archive adventures, but we are going to talk about him.
Yeah. Got to shame him. Because Steve, like we said before at the beginning of the show, Steve decided his office party was more important than Maciac. So, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Shaming for that.
Exactly.
But Steve, a few days ago, was it yesterday or the day before?
A couple days ago. Was it yesterday? No.
Was it?
Yeah, it was yesterday. He did his premiere. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Okay. All right. It's been a busy week. He did a video without giving you any spoilers. It's a video about the iMac G3 and the switch from the serial and SCSI and ADB ports switching over to USB, what that meant, and how most people dealt with it, and the stuff that was available to deal with it. It's a fantastic video. Definitely go check it out. It's just a blast from the past. I've watched it 4 times already because he's been publishing on Patreon as well, leading up to yesterday. It's a fantastic video. And I was going to talk a little bit about the accessories that I used back in the day, but we kind of ran out of time. So I'm just going to plug his video and leave it at that.
We always seem to run out of time because we could sit there and talk stuff to death.
He's also monetized now.
Yes. Give him all your money, and if you still have more to give, go to my Patreon.
AKA, just go watch his videos without ad block on. You're paying him.
I'm sorry, but I have ad block on, and I don't like tearing it off.
Dude, that means I'm not even making money from you other than Patreon.
I'm giving you... wait a second.
Anyway.
I give you Patreon, so don't even give me that now.
I said other than Patreon.
Exactly. So I get the privilege. I have the privilege of blocking ads. See?
Yeah.
So yeah, go check it out. It's well worth the half hour. I don't think it's even a half hour. It's less than that, but it's well worth it. Yeah, it's a
actually
great
not that
video.
long. I watched it later because I couldn't be at the premiere time that Jay picked. He won at 9 o'clock. I said 7.
Man,
so
other people voted for it.
Yeah. You just convinced other people because I saw you in Discord lobbying.
I didn't on my Facebook.
Yeah,
too.
you were lobbying.
Go here, click 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you were lobbying. You were buying votes.
Definitely.
You
definitely.
probably even went on Wendy's Twitter.
She voted too.
Yeah.
So that's Steve's video. We're still waiting on Bruce's videos. He has like a list of 10 videos that I'm waiting on.
Yeah, I'll get to your request soon, Jay.
Well, since we're going that way, let's go ahead on to our next one, which is our shameless self-promotion. So let's go ahead, Bruce.
I just obviously anyone who is interested in doing their own Mac repairs, please jump onto my YouTube channel and subscribe. I mainly looking at vintage stuff and just sort of keeping old Macs going. So if you haven't checked out my channel, please do it. I sort of go through a lot of processes, things like recapping and stuff like that, and then just sometimes play around with some old computers. Sort of the same as Steve.
Throw the link in there if you don't mind in the chat, so people could go right now after our show. After our show, not now.
Yeah. So there we go. There it is. In goes the link, and done.
Yeah.
So that's for anyone who's interested in sort of fixing the right ones. As much as possible, I'm trying to encourage people to give it a go themselves if they've got a soldering iron, they'd like to give it a try. I've got a video that I'll be making fairly soon, which will be recapping with the bare minimum of tools.
I didn't see the.
Because obviously
I didn't see the link.
Yeah, it never showed up there.
Send it to me in the chat in our iMessage, and I'll post it because I think.
Well, it'll be in the description.
I think we're the only ones allowed to do links because we're moderators.
Usually, but it should at least pop up that it needs moderator.
Yeah, I didn't even see it pop up.
All right.
I didn't either.
Let me do. Okay, the link is there in the iMessage. There we go. So
while he sorts that out, Bruce also does recapping work that he makes his videos about, but he also is available to do the work for others, right? If someone wants to send you something, then they can do that.
Yep, absolutely. There are obviously ways from my sort of YouTube channel to get in touch with me, and if you can just send me the logic board, I can recap it and send it back.
But explain to where they're sending it to.
Yeah.
As in what, in Sydney, Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is mainly aimed, obviously, at people in Australia or sort of nearby who might want to get it done. I mean, I have had a board come from the UK. Wow. 2 boards actually came from the UK, which was nice. It's flattering. It's sort of, but they, sort of didn't want to, they'd seen the vids and they wanted to send it to me, so they did. Obviously, there's a bit of cost, but they only, as I say, they only sent me the logic board, so that was, that saves a bit of money on, on shipping. But yeah, I mean, this obviously mainly people sort of in Australia or nearby, they can definitely send me their boards and I can recap them. I'm always happy to do that. And if they send me something interesting, I might even turn it into a video.
You just got a new sub. Dan just subbed.
Yep, Dan. And when his daughter is old enough, she will subscribe too. You might have to wait about 14 years. So. But one of the videos I like is the recent one about discharging a CRT, because the topic has come up a few times on MacYak and all the time in the Facebook group. So that was, I think that's going to be a very popular video.
Yeah, I sort of, I was kind of motivated by that came down to the fact that I wanted to do other videos on working on compact Macs, installing a SCSI2SD or whatever the case may be, sort of talking to people or even how to remove an analog board to send it to me to recap. And you really can't get past the whole discharge thing. I mean, if you are going to do any sort of, any information about working inside a compact Mac, you kind of have to cover the CRT discharging first. So that was kind of why I did that video, so that anything that I do in the future that's inside of a compact Mac, I can say, if you haven't seen the CRT discharge movie, go watch it now. Right. So that was the one of the main reasons why I added that video.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a pretty good video, actually, to be honest with you.
It was an excellent video.
Thank you.
I started doing the recapping because I've never recapped anything apart from the Xserve power supply and the MDD power supply. And sometimes the stuff I get from the recycle bin is that old, like the Centris or the LC2. And I started recapping the Centris using your tips of, the through-hole wire for the pad repair and all that stuff. And it's actually quite fun. I'm not too fond of the smell because every time I work on these damn things, my whole house smells like fish.
Yep.
But it was fun. It is fun to do. For me, that kind of stuff is, recapping a board or a power supply or cleaning a puck is like meditation to me. I like it either way, so I enjoy it a lot.
I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And I do. My workshop is outside, so the fish smell's not that much of a problem. But yeah, the moment you hit those old boards with a bit of hot air or something like that, they just reek. That electrolyte stinks. So.
Yeah. And is that as bad or worse than your iBook G3s?
Oh, that's a good question. It's got to be on par.
Oh, wow.
Look, put it this way. the smell from the capacitors dissipates. The smell from the G3 is always there.
Oh, damn.
Every time you
Okay.
open it up.
Yep. Yep.
Bummer. All right, Greg, what about
Which
you?
Greg? Oh,
Grooty.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, Grooty.
Me.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have heard what's going on with my channel for a lot of the things. I'm still working on the Mac Oddware series. The Mac Pro series is eventually going to come back. I got to work on the iMac GPU upgrade video again. It keeps failing on me. The Power PC series is still going strong. And the biggest thing I want to promote here is I'm still doing that MacBook giveaway for Mac Yak and me. So if you guys want to go win a MacBook, just subscribe to me, comment on that video, and also if you want a battery, subscribe to us too. And I actually announced this on my what was it, Sunday? I did my live stream. I will be having another giveaway, which may even be coinciding with the MacBook.
You're
giveaway
having an
if it
awful
doesn't
lot of
end-
giveaways all of a sudden. Is you sure your girlfriend's not telling you to
Yeah,
get
dude.
rid of a lot of stuff?
No, because this giveaway is different. I don't even have this yet.
So how do you
I
give it something away you don't have?
I'm having 3 more of these hats made. They're designed differently now, so they'll show up better in video. But I'm having 3 more of these hats made, and one of them is actually not going to be for me. It's going to be for
All right, guys,
whoever wins it.
we believe that when any of us actually
Yeah.
see stickers that we were promised how long ago?
About a
Yeah.
year.
At least a year.
Yeah.
But
But you're getting
since Steve is not here, we did get these nice little buttons from Steve, you know.
Yes, we did.
And I didn't even
Mine
ask
are
for
actually
them.
sitting upstairs. I've actually worn his buttons in a few of my videos. If you guys haven't paid attention.
So
So, question about your giveaway. If I only subscribe to Mac Yak, will you send me a battery?
Well, since you won't be entered into the giveaway, no.
Damn it. Okay. Worth a
So-
shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? We know you're busy with the move and all.
My channel's dead. It's not going to be revived for a while.
All right.
So I
And that's
figure at
it?
least another 2 or 3 months before I can even do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Greg?
I'm going to start working on this thing right here soon.
Right.
Nice.
So I did a short live, I guess, a couple days ago, and it does turn on. It does work. It's a Commodore 64. It doesn't look like a Commodore 64, but it is actually a Commodore 64 in a different
The
size.
64C.
So it does power on. It does run basic programs. I did do the Hello World, test program that everybody has to obligatory do. So I'm going to probably do a good video where I'm cleaning this thing because it is kind of grimy. I don't think it needs retro brighting because I peeled some of the stickers off that had been on it ever since day one, it looked like, and there's no difference in the plastic. So
Nice.
it looks like it has not been setting out in the sun and stuff. Because I don't know if you could see, but right where my finger is, there was a sticker that was right there. So you can't see any difference in the plastic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't see it.
I mean,
I don't know. Those function keys look a little yellow.
no, the function keys were always a little darker than the rest of the.
Yeah, that's why they're
yeah.
supposed to
Yes.
look.
I've looked at some of the.
Yeah, because
Well, if you ever need
Commodore
help
was
with that,
strange.
Yeah.
Greg, let me know.
The 8-bit guy has done. I've watched some of his video, a lot of his videos and stuff, and the function keys are always darker than the regular keys.
I still accidentally call him the iBook guy a lot. Because I started watching him when he
Yeah.
was still the iBook guy.
I started watching when he's.
By the way,
8-bit.
Mike, you're getting compliments in the
Yeah.
chat.
Why?
I don't know if you're reading it, but you should.
I'm not. I'm watching.
It says,
guys.
Mike, your G4 video was great. That
Oh,
was
yeah, I'd love to
Dan.
finish
Yeah,
it.
Dan said that. And then Do
Which G4 video? I've got a lot
do a
of
smelly G3 iBook giveaway.
Yeah, honestly, I might end up doing that one time too.
So yeah, I wanna do a video. I'm gonna tear this thing down and try to repair the disk drive that came with it. Then I've got some joysticks. I actually have one for a Mac that somebody might want. Actually, let me pull it out here. It's a Craft joystick. So it's made for the Mac or the, where does it say on here? Apple and IBM compatible. So
Is that KB toy sticker?
no, it
What's the
says
price tag?
AFES, Army Air Force Exchange Service.
AFES?
That's the PX.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on there.
yeah.
But it cost,
Okay.
at that time, it was $13.95 for this. So who knows what it cost, back then. But the joystick is actually in here. I haven't tested it yet or anything because I don't have anything that actually can use this yet. So
those are actually pretty good joysticks. I use those on Apple IIs.
And I've probably got people like, ooh, I want that. I should put it on eBay. Say, hey, Steve Jobs licked it or something,
Yeah, just make sure you sign it first.
And Jay, you're the last one. What do you got?
Oh, you're right. Well, like I mentioned, I'll probably be doing a live stream this weekend, most likely Sunday, of recapping an Xserve G5 power supply. I don't know if it's going to be Nick's or Steve's, but I'll be recapping one of them. I'm getting both power supplies and all the capacitors in tomorrow. So I should be all set for this weekend.
Nice.
And I expect everybody that voted to be there and suffer.
I don't know where the voting was, so
Because you're never on Discord.
Technically have to.
Well, that's because Grooty.
Oh, it's on Discord.
That's because Grooty
Okay.
never pays attention to Discord, unless we tell him in iMessage that, hey, somebody said something on Discord about you.
Because I always forget we even have a Discord, honestly.
Yeah. Alcohol.
You guys see what we have to deal with
Hey.
all the time.
But
Jake,
yeah, apart from the live stream, I don't think I have anything else going on. I might clean another puck. Someone had a good idea. I should clean a different color every day. Do a live stream of that.
I think after the third one, people will be. That's like the falling asleep video watching, right?
I don't know, man. People might go crazy about it. Like, more, give me more color.
Let's see
You
the
don't know.
tangerine puck.
So yeah, that's it. Just a live stream this weekend, and I'm doing a collaboration with someone else soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
And that's it.
All right, guys. So we've pretty much reached the end of our show. I think we went about 12 minutes over right now. So did pretty good tonight, actually, I think.
Yeah, not bad.
So
Yeah.
if you guys want to, I am probably not going to be on there tonight. I know a bunch of us were on there last week on Discord, but our Discord information, if you have not become a member, join our Discord. Now, we have changed up some things about our Discord channel, thanks to Jay.
Oh yeah, we have rules
We actually
now.
have rules, and once you get into Discord, you're going to see one channel and one channel only. Okay, and that's our rule server. Make sure you read the rules, because if you don't read the rules, you're not going to know how to get access to the rest of the server. So
Yes, we were kind of forced to put some rules in there.
yes,
Yeah, we have some very young members that we didn't realize until a few days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
so
And also, there's a bot. You cannot curse anymore. If you curse, the bot will slap your wrist. And there's a lot of cursing going on every day.
Yeah.
And if you say the word Windows, it'll tell you to watch your mouth. It's awesome.
oh,
So if you are already on our Discord, but maybe you haven't been chatting for a while, existing members also have to agree to the new rules before all the text channels become visible. again.
except for
So
me,
make sure you do that.
Jay, Grooty,
Yeah. Nothing changed
exactly,
for us.
'cause
Because I pre-approved you. I could easily unapprove
No, that's
you
because
and
we're
make you suffer.
moderators. So I'm pretty sure all the channels have moderator access. So yeah.
Oh, right, CompGeek. If you say Macintosh repository, the bot will also tell you to stop swearing. I had some fun with that, you know.
Yeah. In fact.
Yeah, come hang out on Discord. I'm going to be there after the show. I'm going to be in the voice chat. Just
Hey,
hang
the
out.
bot didn't say
I'll
nothing
be
when I said
unboxing
Windows.
this, so I'm not going to be there.
I said Windows and bot didn't do anything.
Because we're moderators.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah, I know. But if, let's see, who else is there? Yeah, if CompGeek, if you type Windows in general chat so that Greg can see it in action.
Yeah, there
you
it
go.
is.
Boom. Matt, watch your language.
But it should
That's
show. Yeah, okay. And it disappears right away. I saw
That's
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, come hang out on Discord if you want for the little after show yak.
We're usually in the voice channel in the After Dark live stream. Okay, so that's the channel, the voice channel we're normally in. So if you want to actually just talk to us,
Damn,
Bruce is already
is
there.
quick.
Look at that.
Yeah, what the? Yeah.
So we've actually grown this server, this Discord server, pretty fast lately, and I think it's taken off pretty good actually. It's become a good hangout. It doesn't replace a lot of the other groups we're in on Facebook. It kind of supplements them, I would say, Jay.
Yeah, it's more for ongoing discussions, especially in the help and troubleshooting
Yes.
channel, stuff like
Yep.
that. I think it's we got a good collection of knowledgeable people in
Oh,
there.
guys, I forgot.
Oh,
I
God.
put in a thread on Discord for what were they smoking ideas. There's a good amount on here already.
Did you put that "What were they smoking" in there?
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
yeah, down on
Your
the
name-
bottom.
Your name is not Duke. Your name is not Schmeez. Your name is not Master Geek.
No,
Geeko.
these are suggestions for future videos.
Oh, okay. Anyways, guys, go and
Yeah.
join us there. Also, if you like what we do here, go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and hit that thumbs up button. Okay, make sure you like
Yep.
our video. I only see 10 likes right now, and we've had up to 20
I
something
know,
videos.
it's pathetic.
Yeah, we have 20 something viewers.
Like 20 people
yeah.
watch it. I know.
So hit that like. Oh, see, now it's starting to go up a little bit. So
it's very discouraging. It's very
that should be the very first thing you guys hit, because you know we're going to have some awesome content. So there's nothing not to
Well,
like.
that's pretty cocky. I mean, at least halfway through, give it
Yeah.
a thumbs up. You know?
Don't forget about that. But make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon. We do this every week, or except for like when there's a holiday that happens on that particular day. We're still debating whether we're going to do the day after Christmas or not. I don't know. We're going to discuss it among ourselves, but we'll let you guys know on Discord and on our Mac Yak Facebook page that we have.
I think unless we're like traveling back from somewhere or something, we should just do it.
Yeah, or at the very least have a game of Unreal
That's
Tournament.
actually a better idea, I
Eh,
think.
maybe.
That sounds like a good
Do
idea.
you play Unreal,
Maybe.
Bruce?
I don't. This is terrible. I virtually don't play games.
What?
Well,
Well, it's time
Okay.
to change that.
Yeah.
Go join us in the Power PC
And,
gaming
and,
lounge.
and this is a quick history lesson for Mac Yak here, Bruce. Is that's how we all met? Actually, was playing UT.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
all of us,
including
including
Steve.
Steve, met playing UT. And then
Well,
we started chatting on group FaceTime, and then we decided to make a channel about this.
Yep.
all right, we just lost a member, guys. CompGeek has been removed from Discord and banned from our YouTube channel for saying that Half-Life is better than Unreal.
What?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's out of here. Can't have that nonsense being spread around. No, unacceptable. Yep. So I'm gonna be on Discord.
Yep. And
Yep.
I will not be
And-
probably, but anyways, guys,
and I'm I'm gonna go film.
So we'll see you guys
I'm gonna go
later.
pass
Maybe
out.
next week we'll let you guys know what we're gonna do, and we'll do it. So
Thanks for joining us again,
Yep.
Bruce.
Oh, you're
And-
welcome. Most
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you, Bruce.
Thanks for having
guys,
me.
he may become a permanent fixture. We don't know yet, but he's agreed that every time we invite him, he'll come back. So he
Yeah.
might be our next Steve.
Oh, I'm okay with it.
All right, guys. So
I told you we can get rid of Rocky and we can keep Bruce around. I'm
Oh, he's
fine
your
with that.
first nominee, huh?
oh.
I
I
don't
was
know
saying
how
you could
Rocky would
replace
feel
Grooty.
about that.
Well, they can't get rid of me
hey.
because I'm the one broadcasting it. So
My internet is pretty decent. We can get rid of you.
Well, you're here every week,
Exactly.
so Rocky, not so much.
all right, guys.
Besides that, what's Rocky contribute besides pouring water on electronics?
Oh, damn.
And calling
All right, we
Christian
should continue this
and
on
calling
Discord.
Christian a word
Yeah.
that we shouldn't be calling.
What, fog?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not
let's
with
go
the
with
O,
that.
with the A.
Thanks
Yeah.
for joining.
Thanks for joining.
folks,
We'll
and
see you guys
next
later.
week.
Guys.
All right, we're out.